sometimes people want their own kids,
Right.
and it's sometimes people are just barren, and that is how it is.
Yeah.
But why do people push away adoption so hard?
Yeah.
It's really like you have the opportunity. Maybe destiny has not given you a child, but maybe you can take Destiny's child.
To do that. I was like, but I know I thought you would want to do it.
Should we start the podcast?
Yeah, let's start the podcast because I thought you were gonna want to do it on the podcast.
The second one of the intro, we got to talk about that joke for 15 minutes. Anyway.
Okay, well, you know how they say that thing, girl.
Which thing?
They say that if you step on a crack, you break your mom's back.
Well, I think with people, the places, and the thing we talk about are so bad. And we skip those cracks!
Hey, the joke.
We were watching Into the Woods, which we will talk about in detail more later. It's my favorite musical. Did you love it? Did you love it?
I loved it.
Do you have a lot to talk about it?
Yeah.
I cannot wait. It's so good.
So good.
But we were watching it, and we were, it's a movie about parenthood and being and I was like, they're barren, like, why not just adopt? And it was so like I was sitting there and it was forming in my head. So I was like, maybe like, and it started off earnestly, because I didn't have a joke in my head yet. I was like, I genuinely don't understand why people stray away from adopting, unless financial issues and stuff that. But like, it's straying. If destiny is straying you away from having a child, maybe you can just take Destiny's child.
Like, I don't know at what point.
I didn't say if destiny takes away a child, because I think you can then come to the conclusion.
It was such a like, and if it's not,
if it's not in your cards, if it's not in your cards, if it's not in your cards, if it's not in your destiny, maybe you could just take Destiny's child.
I don't know at what point of the speech you figured out the joke.
Do you know when I figured it out?
So with
Do you know when I figured it out? With maybe you can take Destiny's child, because I was so like, maybe it's not in the cards for you.
What?
I had such like a.
Oh my God.
Wait, this can be. There's a thing. I like being funny and knowledgeable, which is what this movie is that we'll talk about. But I remember one time, and I talked to you about this recently. This is how much I hate your previous friends. And let me just say this: the way I talk about Salma's friends,
me too, girl.
The way I talk about Salma's ex-friends, it seems like I became your friend and forced you to stop being friends with everybody.
But that, it's not what happened.
It's not what happened.
It was such a moment for me where it was like, okay, I have a friend group and I like spending time with them, but in a very like,
I think
like silly but kind of fun way, and I love that period of my life. Let's not get
for
it
a
twisted.
long time you didn't grow with the people that were around.
Exactly. I had like, it felt like I had like a separate life where I was like, I have these interests that nobody here cares about. I have all these things that I would like to talk about, but I can't.
I remember I mentioned knowing Golden Girls. I didn't watch Golden Girls.
Because I was so like attached to you for like a period, being like, every time I saw you, I'd be like, so Golden Girls, huh? Like, like nobody I knew was like, oh yeah, Golden Girl, because it's such a like random thing that I love.
I always go like, yeah, but like I'm not. It's a weird thing. When I was younger, things that were old, and so look, I just missed out.
Mm-hmm.
Like playing a game from the 90s, that's not,
It wasn't for me.
No. That thing is, I'm not like, not for me.
No, it wasn't made for.
Like, I was like, that
was made for my parents, and they must have enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, and it's locked out of my memory. But I remember you posting the like a bigger birthday story than any of my friends did.
Yeah.
Like, you were like, happy birthday to the person I love most in the world.
No. I was like
kidding. Like, to genuinely one of the most best people I know, something like that.
Yeah, one of the genuinely best people I know.
That's a cute picture of us. No, we did have fun when we hung out.
Yeah. But we very rarely, like, it was never a plan. We would always just kind of run into each other. And
I had your phone. Sure. I had your phone on my phone. And like, if ever I had a dark night, I would call you if I wanted a good time.
Yeah. And it would be like...
Which is why I wrote your name on a stall in the men's bathroom. Call if you want for a good time.
Like, oh, that's why the dick pic. That why? What did you take?
A PSA service announcement. Today was supposed to be like a no buy day for at all of us, but
Yeah.
we couldn't participate because you work during the day,
So
and
it's hard.
we had to buy groceries.
Yeah, it's like a boycott thing, and people are being, and I get it, and I'm with it. I support it.
Last time we went with it. You know,
Yeah,
we did.
but we bought juice. Like, let's calm down.
No, we bought a juice from like a locally owned
Yeah.
store.
Yeah, it's not, we're not fucking over the government by not shopping waterfronts. Like, it's not. But what I'm saying is, it's a thing of, I get it, I'm with
It's
it,
such a family owned store that the name is just Arashtan.
and it
You know,
doesn't feel like you're, you're not, because
Yeah.
they have their own thing. But that's not the point. What I'm saying is, like, with the whole boycott thing, is like, I get it, I'm with it, I support you. It's a thing of,
we had
it's not gonna change it.
we had nothing in the kitchen. We had
Yeah.
nothing in the kitchen, and
I had nothing, and it's like I have like tomorrow I have a day off, but nothing works
no,
on
that's the
Sundays.
thing. I think we should all shop more knowledgeably
Yeah.
without, you know,
You know what though? I can't wait. Lidl, so like it's opening up
you
here.
know.
They always have their own set prices, like regardless of what the general price is in the country that they open in. They have their set, and there's no changing that. And I'm like, and they're generally cheap, like they're like
Yeah.
affordable, very good.
I thought they were different in Croatia, like that.
No, because they like like it's like McDonald's type shit. Like
Okay.
we have our own, and that's what we do. There is no like.
You know what I love in Lidl? Their bread section.
Oh my god, I can't wait. Oh, I'm gonna live there.
They have this bread bun, right? And you can like cut it in half and spread it like that. It has all the cheese on it.
Oh,
Oh, are we so serious today? Like this is a very serious. Let me talk to you.
talk to me. Let's talk.
Let's talk. No, but we went to fucking Robot because okay, both of our mistakes. Because I was like, let's go. You know, I'm the enabler.
No, I was very like, yeah, it's cheaper. So there's a brush. Okay, I've been searching for a certain type of brush for my hair for a long time, and I wanted to buy the
Adi said he
exact one.
found it on Pick, by the way, the one that you want for like 25.
See, stupid. But I'm like, okay, I'll get it. Whatever. So I'm running
Try this
around.
one out just to
Yeah.
know.
I'm running around town since like so Friday morning I got up and I was like, okay, I'm gonna check this place, blah blah blah. Whatever, you can't find it anywhere. I'm like, okay, I'll get this one that I don't really love, but if it works, it's fine.
Yeah.
And I see it's on like on sale. Urabut.
No. And oh yeah. And, okay, person.
And I was like,
yesterday.
Okay, if I don't find it anywhere else, I'll buy this one
So
here.
we get
'cause
up.
It's like $20.
And there's a store that we buy because it's genuinely cheapest there.
It's cheapest and it's
the
big and
best.
you have everything you need.
And it's
like,
weirdly the newest one, like best stocked,
Yeah.
like very clean,
yeah.
very nice. So today we went to like Bingo and Fizz that were like closer to us that we usually don't go to. And Fizz had that other one. And I was like, yeah, let's go to Robot. Both of us assuming that since Robot is a shitty place.
Yeah, it's gonna be like
Because
cheap.
it's not the cleanliest place. It's not. And then you're like, well, these places are cheap.
Yeah, you assume because it's shit. The reason it closed is because Kurt opened up right next to it, and everyone was like, "Oh, Kurt is better." By the way, it's really not that good. But like, how bad do you have to be as a store to be like,
Yeah.
we have to close down the biggest one we have because nobody's shopping here anymore?
Yeah.
Like, it's just stupid. Anyway, we go there, and I'm like,
I
okay,
think Cart is good.
it's good, but it's not like I don't like.
I think it's very clean and it's very.
Really,
It's fresh.
it's giving me rat vibes. I don't know.
That doesn't mean not clean for me. Have you
They're-
watched
they're
it?
pet- That means they're pet friendly.
But no, we went there and it was just we bought
Like I bought 3 full bags, a trash can,
and a full trash can.
and a full
We
trash
filled the
can.
trash can with-
So let's be real here. Let's say 4 bags, like
Yeah.
genuinely 4 bags of things, 234 like kayam. Which in that like if we went to
Our place.
Fortuna,
Fortuna.
it like yeah, I would have spent 250, but you know what would happen? I would have at least double the amount of bags. Like
Yeah.
I would buy every like I remember the last time I bought there, I was like, I'm going full on. I shopped for everything, and it was around that like 250. But I
Do
was
you know
like,
a really sad moment happened for me
everything.
while we were shopping? She approached me with this box of Valentine's Day pasta, like a heart-shaped pasta, and she looked at me like a wounded puppy. She was so like, I'm sorry I had to. And I went like, oh my god, that's the best thing I've ever seen. Go take another box. And you were like, I really thought I was gonna be judged. And I was like, you were really in a bad relationship, weren't you? Like,
You're usually not in a holiday. You're not a holiday spirit
the
type.
thing is, that's not a holiday.
But
But it is.
it's very
You
like
thought I was gonna be like,
Valentine's Day. Here's
you thought I was gonna be like, ugh, commercial, shit like that.
God. I thought you'd just be like, for what?
Let me just put out a PSA. Let me put out two PSAs.
Go ahead.
One is
Tell them, Queen.
um Valentine's Day. People, it was believed that there's two ways of celebrating Valentine's Day. Either you're happily, yay, love, or if you're, or like Valentine's Day and I'm feeling so single, or you're Mr. Valentine's Day is a commercial holiday.
I really want to know if this like pouring of my wine was heard because Mike is right under it. It's so cute.
That'd be so
Oh
fun.
my God.
So you can either be like somebody who views Valentine's Day as a legit holiday, either being in a relationship and being like my significant other,
Yeah.
or you can view it as
A general sharing of love.
no, or you can view it as this is
I'm single and life sucks.
no, but even if you're single, you're like, I'm single and life sucks, but I believe in Valentine's Day because like when I date, I'll be like, oh my god, Valentine's Day.
Uh-huh.
Or you're like no matter if you're dating or not,
Yeah.
it's like, oh my god, this is such a capitalist holiday and shit like that.
Every holiday is nowadays. Let's be real.
And there's a third way. What you mentioned, what is my way?
Yeah.
Valentine's Day is a holiday about love.
Yeah.
And you can take that day to remind yourself that you love all your friends and why you love all your friends. Maybe take that day to remind yourself that you don't love somebody that much.
Yeah.
And leave them out of your life.
Yeah.
Because it's an act of self love.
Exactly. No, like okay, I love Christmas. I'm not Christian. Like I don't there's no connection to me to that holiday. I love it because it's such a like everything is fun and pretty and you have this like yes, it's commercialized. Yeah. But you have the idea of like family and love and it's celebration of something, whatever.
And
The Christ is born. Yay. Like I don't give a shit.
and we as gay people, there's this like we have these found families that mean so much more than our regular families. I mean, not so much more. Like everybody means more than my father, but like nobody means more than my mother. And
So sweet.
yeah,
I know.
I love my mom.
Dude, that's really sweet.
Um, it's what was I about to say? No, just take Valentine's Day as a way to show your love to other. I mean, nobody's fucking listening to this, but I am saying like there's not just a way to see it black and white, which is what Into the Woods we'll talk about a lot later on. Sometimes things are already there.
Yeah.
You being negative about it won't change it.
Yeah.
If you really think that Valentine's Day is a capitalist holiday, don't talk about Valentine's Day.
Exactly.
Treat it like any other day.
Right.
If somebody mentions Valentine's Day
for yourself, change that. Like change like don't buy somebody something. Just tell them you love them. Make it not a
No, but
capitalist thing to you.
but maybe then you think it's you're adding to the holiday.
It's but like
You're still keeping it alive. But I'm saying like if you don't love it, if you don't like something, if you hate something, the best thing you can do is not interact with it.
yeah. Yeah.
But that's the thing. Hateful people want to interact.
Yeah.
I've talked to you recently about the video game The Last of Us Part 2,
Mm-hmm.
and it's people are talking about this woke virus,
I think it's because of you.
and everyone thinks it's because of woke. The bigger virus is insults. The bigger virus is somebody seeing a woman with muscles and transvestigating. Yeah. The bigger issue is that yeah, feminist rights are human rights,
Yeah.
and you viewing feminism, fagotism, and you viewing feminism as a negative thing will always ring alarm bells. There's things like you can be like, you're taking it too far. You're an SJW, shit like that. But
No, you have to as a like let's be real here. As a man, the only way I will take your criticism of feminism seriously if you are a feminist.
yes,
If you as a human man who is like
understand.
understand the idea and the acknowledgement that it's
I
needed and
will.
all these
I
things,
will always like.
and
I
then
will
go like
always support human rights, but I think in some aspects
yeah
they strayed or they
to
overdone it and
yeah
shit
to
like
be
that.
like
And
hey
then you can have a conversation like, of, in my opinion, a lot of it's your phone gives you what you want to see, and they will give you
because like okay let's be real here
angry feminists.
because to be fair here like my TikTok for you page and my YouTube Shorts. Oh,
Oh,
so different. YouTube
I
Shorts
love
for
my
me.
YouTube shorts. It's clips of The Maid. It's clips of American Housewife.
Yeah.
It's clips of Doctor House, and it's
Uh-huh.
clips of Grey's Anatomy.
Exactly.
And
It's perfect.
it's 15,000 videos of top 10 um uh, Thanos from Squid Game 2 edits. And my thing is, I always see it. I always see like top 5 edits, and
Uh-huh.
I know what the top 5 edits are. They're always in a different order.
Mm-hmm.
I always click. I always click because I love seeing Thanos.
Yeah.
Thanos makes me so happy. I mean, I wasn't a Squid Game 2 hater, but some people would say I am.
Okay.
Because I remember talking to this guy, and I was like, "Oh, it's such a basic show,"
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "Oh, you're just somebody who hates everything that's popular." First of all, groups.
I do have those moments too where I'm like, you don't really don't like this. You just kind of say that you don't like it.
I will no. I say what I don't think deserves popularity, and I say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes people mishear me. I mean, sometimes because I don't put the emphasis on that.
But then you will love Wicked regardless.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, if I love something, I don't care how popular it is. It deserves my love. Sometimes I even like the thing. I often watch the Nolan Batman movies.
Mm-hmm.
I just think they shouldn't be the Batman movies.
Yeah, but I think that comes from like I know a lot about this thing, and then
Yeah.
you took something that isn't the best of it and you made it the biggest of
Oh,
it.
but I
And that's not
definitely was. I did enjoy Billie Eilish's music, but I pretended to be like,
yeah, Billie
yeah, Billie
Eilish.
Eilish sucks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because to this day, if somebody play, I mean, not all of Billie Eilish's music.
Yeah,
Ocean Eyes is fucking ruined to me.
Ocean Eyes is done.
Oh, be a guy with blue eyes in
Mm-hmm.
that year.
I know. God.
It was the worst.
But I feel like with Billie Eilish, what I love is we're kind of the same age. So it's like with every
Yeah.
she's growing. She's not stuck in her 16-year-old self
Yeah.
too. So she's like every year, every time she makes a new album, you're like, oh, I'm there with you
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Like and I love
That's
her. I
me
love
with
Billie.
Adele.
And that was me with Adele when I was 13. Let's get it right, okay?
Yeah, I was. There was a fire starting in my heart. Um, but what I wanted to say, yeah, I do like. I tend to critique things on their popularity, like if it's an undeservedly popular thing.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to do that. It's a thing that I do, but I will. I was like, the Joker movie is so funny.
Her dog is doing this.
What are you?
Do it now.
I don't think it would have been heard either way because of noise canceling.
Come on.
He sounded like a cow.
Just pisses me off. He goes,
Well, he sounds like a cow.
and it's annoying because like I took him out and I did a long walk with him and he didn't poop, and now he's like, eh.
Well, when we finish, I have to walk home anyway. I mean, I'll bike home. Okay.
Go on.
What were we talking about before popularity?
Popular movies, popular things that you're.
Was it about The Last of Us 2?
Yes.
And What the fuck are you on about, girl? But no, that's where we strayed off. Like I was like,
No, okay, we're talking about holidays and commercialized and
and then I was The Last of Us Part Two, and then
yeah,
I started talking,
how you.
but I forgot what was the point there.
I don't know. Really once. No, here what I wanted to say. My TikTok for you page and my
Oh, that's what we were talking
yeah,
about.
and my
Oh, I was talking about Squid Game.
okay.
Um, and I was like, but Squid Game 2 looks really interesting. Like, I really love the characters. Squid Game 1 also had, I didn't watch the full thing, but the thing is, it's another fight to the death thing.
Mhm.
And it's from, what's it called? Battle Royale,
Uh-huh.
the original Japanese movie. There's been so many of Death Royale stuff. And, but this one looks really fun. There's a trans girl,
Mhm.
and in Korea, it's like very
Ooh la
extremely,
la.
extremely, yeah. Cisgender male had to play her because it was like
You can't find a
you
transfer.
can't find a trans girl. You can find an openly trans person who would go and be like, "Let me be on
Yeah, I
TV"
am a
and shit
trans.
like that. Yeah, and it's so cute. There's this one mom, and she's like, "What? He's a boy," but and it's like, yeah, it's Korea, so it's
Yeah.
very like
Yeah, like
it's not
ooh.
it's not America of like, oh
She,
she
I guess it's she
yeah.
now.
So it's a
That
very
pisses me off.
it's a very normal thing to be like, I have questions about you, and then like a girl goes like, I think you're cute, and then like they become friends and shit
Yeah.
like that. And she was like the trans girl, she was a Vietnam soldier. So there's a part
Slay.
where they have to shoot, and she just slays everyone. It's so good.
Are you sure you're not talking about Milan?
Did you hear that they're transvestigating Ping?
That's what okay. But what I was gonna say is so my for you
Oh, we were
page
talking
on
about For You and YouTube.
yeah, like on TikTok and on YouTube because I've okay. Remember when Andrew Tate just blew up?
You loved that.
And everyone was like,
You
"Oh,
didn't.
Andrew,"
You didn't love
but
that. Like,
no, I
yay,
didn't
that
love Andrew
you
Tate.
didn't love that. Like, yay, this should have happened.
But I was
But
like,
like, it already happened.
let me see what
Might as
this
well
is.
investigate.
But that's the thing. I was the last person to find out of the idea of Andrew Tate. I had no idea, and then everyone was like, "Did you?" And Andrew Tate.
Excuse me, last person.
Well, yeah, you.
Yes.
But I was like, "What the? Who is this guy?" Right? So then Amel shows me the video of like, look at how he talks, and I was like, "Oh, this is so funny." And then I search up like a few podcasts, whatever, yada yada. My for you page on Instagram is like Red Pill, and on YouTube is Red Pill, like Red Pill man, like Ben Shapiro's of the world, fucking Charlie Kirk's of the world, like all that,
Let me just say I love Ben Shapiro.
because of his Wicked review. My favorite of that was when somebody was like Ben Shapiro figuring out that he would have been so loved and appreciated if he had just like accepted people, being like, if you just been like a normal guy and then did this, everyone would love you so much because this was such a like an apt review of the Wicked movie.
Yeah.
Like you went deep in and
You
we were
even
all
like critiqued it, but like
but in a like fair way, you
uh,
know, because he was like
us who
Cynthia
are
Erivo has so many like better vocals than Ariana Grande. That's why she was able to do this, and she's doing all these like grand things, like all these things. And I was like, okay, Ben, all right, Benny. Anyway, point is, it's such a like. So you were right with like what you search will is what you'll get, and that's what
not just like what you type in. The second, like it's an algorithm that picks up what you
yeah,
want,
what you want. Because my
and
TikTok
it will
is
give you the
edits of
information.
Catherine Hahn being hot, and I'm like, yeah,
And that's the thing that I'm out of it. But Twitter is its own thing. Twitter is its own beast. Twitter cannot get not political.
yeah,
I've tried really hard to keep my.
wicked people.
I've really tried to keep hard to keep my Twitter just porn.
Yeah,
And you know,
and it slips in.
slips in, and it slips in, and then I have to watch that the world is burning. But the world isn't always burning. It's just Twitter. It's somebody. If I Google about The Last of Us 2,
Yeah.
it'll I'll find an article about how it's a deep feministic message, and how it's a bold direction that was not well appreciated by everyone, but that it.
Also, can we stop politicizing everything?
But that, I mean, it's a very politically.
The Last of Us.
No,
Why?
it's a zombie apocalypse. It's yeah, how the government.
Mongo.
Everything.
The only reason why that's
No. But I'm saying
like,
with The Last of Us 2, because of the backlash, you can.
But that's the
You
thing.
can.
People turned it into like something that does have a backlash. Like, can we just leave like zombies to be like? I sound like a red pill person.
No, can we leave the story about revenge to be a story about revenge?
Exactly.
Not a story about like you're trying to.
The person is trans in it. Like,
Not
whatever.
the person isn't trans.
But
You,
you're making it a thing.
yeah.
It's such a stupid like thing to care about when the storyline has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
It's like, just enjoy a thing.
Or don't.
Yeah, or don't. Just shut up about it then.
I am really upset that a thing that I love this much took a direction that I don't like.
Yeah.
The same way I talk about Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, the biggest, newest Zelda games.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love them. I had a great time playing. I have over 100 hours on both of them. Like, equal. Like, there's probably 300 combined. I love those games. I enjoy those games. I don't think they're the best Zelda games. I don't think they're perfect Zelda games, but I will not be like, you are enjoying this as the perfect Zelda game. Fuck you.
Yeah, you're stupid for that.
Yeah.
I know what means this. No, it's all generally just. I don't know. I think we've gotten to a place in our lives where it's like everything is an attack from both sides. So it's like you have the liberals who are
Because
very
everyone's
like,
defensive.
mhm.
Everyone is.
And again, like liberals have somewhat of a right to be defensive
Because we were attacked for so long.
for so long,
And
and
this
then
is and that
we had like a good 10 years for it to be like chill and we're cool and it's fine. And then suddenly it turns around being like, well, fuck trans people. And then, of course, you're going to go revert back to that. But also, you have the red pill people who are very like, oh, everything that has anything that's slightly to do. Again, another point that Destiny made. Destiny Stars. There's a streamer named Destiny, and he's a very like his whole thing is like blue pill. He even made his hair blue to be like fuck red pill people.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Is that the guy
who sucked a dick? Remember when I sent you?
Wait, who's blue? Is blue pill the good?
Yes.
The good side. Okay.
Blue is good. Red.
And he made the thing about the blue pill. He's in the blue pill.
Yeah, he's.
Is that the guy who was in one of those videos of the circle?
Maybe. I don't know.
There's that one video with that guy where it's like
he was
a fetus means human child.
No,
and then the next one was.
Oh, he wasn't in. No, that's another guy who's also on TikTok. No, that's
okay.
But anyway, he made a point to be like, imagine if Milan was released today. The red pill, like the conservatives would be like, they're trying to make the kids trans, like all this. When it was released in the fucking 90s or whatever, it was such a like. This is just a nice story about a girl who was like, I want to do this. Like nobody made it political because it was made for kids. No, not that too. And it made it like now people are creating a situation where it's like you shouldn't. Conservatives are making it political, and then liberals are fighting it, being like, get fucked.
You know what's a funny thing though? That a lot of the backlash against the Barbie movie wasn't that much about politics. It was to an extent, but like a lot of guys were just like, it's not my thing.
Yeah,
it's too pink.
I know.
It's too pink. Another big announcement. Do you know what this month is? A year of us recording this podcast.
Oh,
yeah, it's a milestone. Yeah, I don't know the exact date, but it's like I think it's either this month or next month, but it's a 1 year that we're recording.
That's fun.
And really, like our friendship has just been, kind of a steady line.
Yeah, we don't really.
There's no ups or downs.
We don't, but we don't decline either.
Yeah, so it's good. No, now we're kind of getting closer because you had this random revelation that you want to be more touchy feely with me, and I instantly was like, okay, sure.
No, I was like, I need to stop because I feel like that's the one thing that I've kept from my teenage years of being like, I hate everyone. Because I made it up. I made up a fact about myself that I don't like being touched. And then for so long, people didn't touch me because I kept telling them, don't touch me. And then I got so like.
But it's funny because we still touch.
Yeah, but you
Because
hit me.
no, because I touch very intrusively.
Yeah.
You can't be my friend. Link. Playing with my pants.
Well, like I heard nothing.
Um, no, because there's you can't be my friends without having to have to lose some conformity in touching. Because my legs are on
Yeah.
your lap right now.
Mm.
It's like I don't know. With Amra, I have this like kind of a bit of a distance.
Yeah.
Because one time she was like, "You're hairy," and I was like,
Okay.
no, I understood that.
Uh
I
huh.
was like,
Fair.
"Namaste. Have a nice day." um, but yeah, no, you're trying, and I'm willing to hand you that offer, even though it's something that I'm not used with you. But it's you want to grow as a person. It's a thing that I love doing, so might as well. So yesterday I slept on top of you. No, my thing with
Okay with touching. I was always a kid. Like you would grab my boobs very aggressively, and I was always fine with that. It was always like I'm fine with being touched. I'm not like it's a like a
contact,
hug,
a hug.
like intimate, like real intimacy. I was like,
Oh, that's the thing with me because people are like, "Oh, he's the intimacy king."
mhm.
I cried to you maybe twice in my life.
Yeah.
I
Meanwhile,
no, I mean I cried to you many times about media, right?
yeah,
I twice in my life came to you. I once cried because the three of us when you were with your boyfriend, you drove us to um
he drove
he drove
us.
us. Jesus.
I
Uh
ain't driving now.
you ain't driving shit.
Nuh-uh.
Not even a bike right now.
Nope.
Um you said it last episode.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
And I met a guy that I was in, and both times involved a guy. And
Whatever.
as we were going back, I stood out of the car and we just hugged and I cried. And
Yeah.
it was really nice in that one. One time it was about Nadim. Hi, Nadim. Um,
Hey.
hi. But I remember just being like, he just decided. Oh, it was Nadim and Ahmad.
Mm-hmm.
There's three times, so it's Yasko, Nadim, Ahmad. And it was the first time with him, and I was like, he just decided he doesn't want, and I just hugged you and cried, and you were like there, and
Yeah.
you kept, and then I was like, no, like not anymore. Like this is too long a hug. This is I feel uncomfortable with it. But people are like, John is up my vagina all the time. Stop. No, because he's like, oh, the focus is on me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, stage fright.
No, but it I always have contact with whoever. Like even with Amra, I have my little like
Yeah.
the little slappy slaps and shit like that.
That's the thing for me. It's never if somebody needs physical contact in that moment. I never. My thing is, I will never need a hug and ask for a hug.
Yeah,
If it's about me, I'll never.
but now you're realizing that you need a hug.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, if I need like sometimes, and I'll be
We
like,
we
hey,
hugged last time watching Lilo and Stitch.
yeah, I was like, cute. I know.
You don't have to ask,
Oh, but it was such, it was cute.
and but that's what makes it.
Yeah.
That's what that's the line for me.
Yeah. Well, actually, you were. Was it Lilo and Stitch or was it something? I remember saying like,
It was either Lilo. What would you watch before Lilo and Stitch? Oh, the Uptown Girls. No, it was Lilo and Stitch.
okay, yeah. I don't know. I remember we hugged. It was cute. But I my thing is like, but that's the thing. When have I cried to you about a real thing?
Never.
I don't. I just I live
No. Also,
I
you've
live
never.
my emotions through media. I guess. I don't know. I'm a very analytical person when it comes to my real life and when it
No,
comes
that I
to
was about to say you've never been to through a traumatic enough thing.
but it's like
You have,
yeah, but I
but
don't feel it that
yeah,
way.
but you.
I don't
That's what I mean.
I'm like, okay, so okay, I broke up with
Yeah,
my
like,
boyfriend.
but like my last situation with Nedim was I had two situations with one guy who's not my friend. Yeah, gay life. But my
Gay.
last one, it was just like I handled it myself. I felt it myself, and it was just like
No.
didn't cry about it.
Yeah, you did.
Rub my eye because
I'm so like, cry about it. Oh. No, but it's a thing for me of like, okay, I ended a 3 year long relationship, and but it's through a very like, okay, I've been in this, I've been thinking about like it's a well, it's a thing for me that's been going on for far longer. That's another thing that I just wanted really pissed me off when he said like, "Oh, you talked to John before you talked to me," and it was like, John was the last person who knew. Like, I was so
But by the way, we're talking about this on the air.
Never. I don't care. I
Just
because
saying, I'm being impartial to this.
but I want to say this to make a point, right? Because it was such a moment for me where it was like he was the last person to know about this. I have been feeling this way so much longer before I had actually said anything to anybody. And then but you were the person that I talked to, that I tried to talk
Yeah.
to and tell you, hey, this and this and this and bothers me.
Not you as in John.
No, me.
You
As
you
in, like, I tried to tell you, the person I'm dating, so many times, and you ignored that completely until eventually I was like, okay, I will break up with him. And the moment that I decided I will do it, that's when I told you. So it was like
the mama, I feel that's a bit wrong, and I feel like I want to call you out here.
okay, go
I
ahead.
feel like I want to call you out because I feel a certain way about
But
this.
you don't know what I thought.
You
You don't know what I thought about.
My thing is, I felt that you and this. I'm saying this from a place of love and compassion and respect towards you. The respect may be a bit less.
Okay.
I feel like when I hit a point with him, like when I hit a point with him that was past the point of no return, that I was angry, that I was mad. That's where you were like, okay, now let me do all of this.
Right. But
Like it needed an opening from me
sure, but I'm
for
saying
you to continue with it.
yeah, but I'm saying it happened way before I told you. So it wasn't a thing for me to be like, oh, I've been thinking about, let me just like spray it onto you. And then we had these conversations and that he didn't know.
No,
like,
it was I had to,
it's
I
not
had
the
to
case.
lead.
But like I'm saying, it's not the case of me being like, oh, I didn't tell you. Whatever. I don't know why I'm getting into
No, no, I just wanted to say.
yeah. The point I'm saying and making, what I'm trying to say this whole time is that like, okay, I've thought about this and da 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 da.
No, no, no. I get I get what you were saying. I just wanted to add that it wasn't like I have decided, and I was like, okay, I can see that.
Kinda. I don't. And
I get what you're trying to say. That it wasn't a thing you were going behind his back.
yeah, and it's
Because everything
also
you told to me, you told to him.
yeah, very openly, very actively, very much so. And it's like fine, but what I'm saying is like, okay, I'd ended a relationship of 3 years. Did I cry? Sure. Like I had moments of being like when we would talk, I would cry. Like we would like I had my like, and then I would cry alone, and but it was the thing of like, okay, it happened and it's instant and it lasts for a few minutes and it goes away and it's whatever. And I put it away because I understand it's a the moment. Okay, the moment you get a gut feeling about something, you already know that this is something you need to do, right? And it's always right, kinda. It has to be right.
Well, people with anxiety and mental health issues,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, don't
beware.
yeah, beware. Don't take me.
No, 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 no. It's if you have a gut feeling, there is a thing that you need to talk about.
Yeah, and
There
if
is
you
a thing
talk
that you
about
need
it,
to express, and if the other person doesn't help you calm it down,
it's not gonna work. And like the moment,
unless you realize, I'm hiccuping way too much.
yeah,
Unless you recognize that it is a chronic thing
yeah,
of like every day I think you're cheating on me, and then it's a thing of like it's my issue more than
yeah,
it is an issue of you. But if it comes from like a point of I feel unhappy with you and not
yeah,
with me,
yeah,
and
then
you are
it's
doing nothing to calm that situation down,
and it's the thing of like
this
I
will seep
felt it.
very well into the woods.
Yes, I felt it, and it was the moment I felt like thinking about everything and thinking about my relationship, thinking about my relationship and everything, and then the moment it felt to me like imagining a breakup and feeling relief, I was
Yeah,
like, okay, this is the end.
yeah.
There's no coming
there's
back
no
from that,
turning back from that. There's no.
and that's
There
how
are
it was.
thoughts
Like,
you think that are that
well, of course,
no, but there are thoughts you think that just symbolize the end. When you feel what you feel about those
yeah,
thoughts, really tells you about where you're at with the situation.
yeah. Because like imagining doing anything and being like, there's a trick that always people always kind of use, where it's like, okay, you have like two choices, and it's like you flip a coin for it. The reason you flip a coin isn't to be like, oh, let destiny do it.
But it's to be like, oh, I wanted the other side.
Yeah, you will in that moment when you see where the coin flipped, you will look at it and be like, oh, I feel disappointed. Then you'll know
I've never really felt that because it's weird. But I'm gonna have this whole psychoanalysis with me the other day. But I was like, when I do decide I stick with a gun,
Uh-huh.
sometimes I have a hard time, and it's very, very rare.
Yeah.
But I just have a thing and I stick to it later on. That's that. And she was like, "That's the Libra." I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember the full conversation. I had it one time with this guy where I was just like, I wanted to like you, and I wanted to be in a relationship with you, and I wanted this. I mean, I didn't want to be in a relationship with you. I wanted to like you.
Yeah.
I wanted to be in love with you. I didn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't in love with you, and that's the thing. And similar to a coin flip, but more in tune with gay relationships. We were talking about monogamy and polygamy, and how mono, mon, mon,
Yeah,
monogamous and monogamy and polygamy.
Yeah.
What is it with gods? Isn't a god like I'm monogamous? I believe in one god.
Yeah, but that's
Molly,
no, that is like
okay,
I don't think it's monogamous.
because it's polyamorous,
Polyamorous, and then it's
monogamous.
monogamous.
Okay,
Yes.
so monogamy and polyamory. We're talking about that, and actually, I was just saying monogamous, but I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, I want us to be monogamous," and I was like,
Yeah.
and as somebody who doesn't care about polyamory, that was the thing of like,
Understanding.
oh, I don't want to be with this
You
guy.
understand that you need more sometimes.
But uh, um, I was just like, I don't. There isn't this connection that I have with you that you might have with me.
Yeah.
But I do think you're a good guy, and I think you're good. But I just,
I don't feel it. My thing with monogamy and polyamory, it's like I've never been in one, but I know that I would be fine with the polyamorous relationship. And here's why. I feel like I'm a genuinely like, if let's say you and I, like, everything is the same, but we're dating,
Yeah.
right? Let's say we're attracted to each
So
other,
everything is the same.
and it's like a point of, okay, let's say we're both bi,
Yeah.
right? But not even that. Let's say we're both straight. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It's a point for me where, like, I know we'll always have this.
Yeah.
Like, we can sit down and we can talk to each other and we can watch a movie and we'll understand and we'll enjoy our time together.
And I will have, and both of us, because I'm a very social person, and
Yeah.
you don't have like the differentiating friendships the way I do. Because it's not just a thing of like, oh, he's social. No, I have hard crushing friendships with a lot of people, and there's a thing of like, when I do start dating, you will know that I'll have friends who I love basically on the same level that I love you.
Exactly. But
And what's the difference if I fuck them?
Exactly my point. Like, we'll have the same connection, and it's like you will sometimes want other things as much as the same way that you want other things with different friends. Like, you and I will never have the relationship you and Anis have.
Yeah.
Like, that's never gonna happen because it's a different situation.
Because you're not autistic enough.
Exactly. So it's a thing of like, okay, and then you can find that also in like a romantic sense of being like, oh, maybe this person is sexually into something that I'm into, but you're not. But doesn't take away from what I have with you.
There's also a respect of like,
tell me
another person's monogamy and another person's
exactly. And I've always been that way too, where I was like, you want monogamy, and I'm fine with that. Like, I will respect it and I will be there like for it because I'm like, I don't need it right now. But it's a thing of like, I could do it and I know that I could.
Yeah.
I will never.
I don't know if I could.
Jealous person.
I don't know if I could.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could. I'm saying right now, I would try it. I would, but I don't know if I could. Because the second I feel that you would leave me for somebody like that, the second I think that you would want to add another third, what are we? A show? A show in its fourth season's getting a pet?
I know.
What is he, Stella?
For me, the jealousy would come in being like, oh, you would rather watch this movie with them than this.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that might create a thing for me. But sex, I don't.
Yeah.
Genuinely don't do it. Yeah. Like, it's such a like physical thing for me. But hey, to each their own. Um, we were talking about so long ago. I don't know.
Oh, we both got tattoos today.
We got tattoos
I
today.
got a travel size bob. It's just like short hair. Just short hair, travel size bob.
Yeah.
It's a short wig. No, I got Jean dressed up as Bob because I wanted to kill two birds with one stone. I'm hiccuping a lot.
It's a summer piece of habits.
But see, I don't hiccup like a normal person. It's not like a. It's just my usual like post eating. Just
Like it's an exorcism.
yeah. Oh, the people don't know my hiccuping. Recently on work, I have to mute my calls a lot because I'm breathing like an old person. Exactly. Our dog broth.
Yeah.
Um,
Sighed very heavily.
somebody called me, and it's the thing of like I'm suddenly in a position where I have to talk, where I was silent, and there was like, "Hello, my welcome speech," and then I muted just because I don't want to be like, I don't want it to sound like I'm sighing.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
whatever. We got tattoos. I got a travel size Bob. You got Stevie Nicks.
I got Sydney. So first, I wanted to do a record like thing of
Yeah,
Fleetwood
yeah,
Mac, right? And I was like, I know it's not gonna like, because if I was gonna do a record, I didn't want it to be like across my back, like I didn't want it to be huge because that's
yeah.
like ugly. So I was like, okay, if you can do it like smaller, I'll just do her.
And let's appreciate our tattoo artists
Yeah.
for being like.
It's not gonna look good. I
It
can
will
do
look.
it
It will look pretty for a
for
few
yeah.
for a year.
No, she was very like, it's not gonna look good. Do the other thing. I was like, okay, well, we're doing the other thing. So I just did Stevie Nicks from the
Rumors
Rumors
album
album,
cover.
and it's just her like kind of dancing like did that. And it's I think my favorite one, honestly,
Yeah.
that I have because it's such it looks so pretty, and I love it, and I love looking at it, and it's such a like, yeah, and
I
I
don't know
love
what my
women
favorite one.
tattoos.
I don't know what my favorite one is because I kind of have Bernadette, and I'm like, that's
Yeah.
obviously always gonna be there. But now I'm thinking about the other ones, and I'm like, what do I love my DS one,
Mhm.
but I don't see it a lot.
Yeah.
But when I think about it, I think that's one of my favorite ones because Adna drew it for me,
Yeah.
and it's a picture of her that I always have with me. Even though me and Adna weirdly have the closest friendship.
Mhm.
Like we don't hear from each other a lot. I have a tattoo that she drew. She's probably gonna draw my Glinda and Alphabet tattoo if I do it.
Yeah.
Um, we have a tattoo together,
Yeah.
and we have an earring that we just
Oh.
we. She was like, "I'm gonna go pierce my ears," and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna pierce them too," like the second one.
Mhm.
And then I was just like, "Mom, like, I asked my mom like if she could help out with like buying the gift." He's like, "Oh, you could get earring," and then she was like, "Oh, you can have one, and I can have one," and it's like like actual silver, so like you don't have to take it off or anything. She put them on instantly. I lost my other one, so I put this because I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna use it for like whenever." I just like it as an everyday earring, and sometimes I weirdly get nervous about our friendship, and then I'm like, I have so much with her,
Yeah.
and I don't need. I get weirdly defensive about her.
Mm.
Like, none of your friends like you. Not like none of your friends like you, but like they don't appreciate you enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm like, ugh,
Yeah. They should love you more.
and they should love you more. Um, but hey, I just wanted to mention that. I don't know. It's a weird thing that I figured out recently.
Mm.
But yes, what?
It's also kind of like, and I wanted to do so stupid. So Valdana had like graduated like
Yeah,
college, and I was like, it feels weird to
yeah,
not say anything,
yeah,
but then it's also like you made it very clear you don't want to hear from me again,
yeah.
so I didn't. So I was like, okay, and then I was PMSing like a lot. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna send like I was gonna send her like flowers to be like, hey, congratulations.
Yeah,
And like if you don't want to talk to me, oh no,
yeah.
you
Just
don't
pick up the flowers.
yeah, you pick up the flowers, you leave them, you don't like reach out to me and I'm okay with that.
And
Whatever.
it's also her level of maturity.
Yeah.
It's very what a teenager would do.
Yeah.
Just leave flowers and be like,
Yeah.
it's
But I was like, but I didn't do it. And it's like I don't know. It feels weird that I'm still hung up on this person who is like not. It's not it anymore. You
Yeah,
know,
there's no
like.
way of turning back that
Mhm.
friendship into like. First of all, what it was, because you two are on entirely different levels right
That's the
now.
thing. We
I
separate
it's
ways.
you should never say that it's weird because I'm here still to this day. I will just randomly mention my friendship with Ahmad because
Yeah.
I cannot find that in another person.
Yeah.
I cannot, and it's not. It wasn't just the physical contact. It was the, and I figured that out when I was with Nadim because Nadim and I are very cuddly, and it's like we're both cuddly in a similar way, right? But there was this thing I had with Ahmad where I just put my hand like this,
Mhm.
and he put my fingers on top of my fingers, and we just pushed them with
Mhm.
each other. And I was like, "This is exactly what I wanted to do, and that's what you did."
Yeah.
And I didn't say it. I didn't like with
Mhm.
Nadim. He was hold my,
Uh,
and I was like, "No, no, no, do
yeah.
this," and it was like the magic's done.
Yeah. Like I don't. If I have to explain it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and no, because I understand that first, like that he's not ready for a friendship
Yeah.
like mine. He made that clear, and that's there's no way. And also, you're much better than I am because I text.
Me of like you and genuinely like she was the most important person in my life.
Yeah,
And like when I look back like to who I was and the way I was when I knew her, I know for a fact that she's the only person I genuinely actually cared about.
yeah,
And it's a heavy thing. You know,
yeah.
like
Because
cuz I've had
it's weird to think like because you spend much time with every other person in
yeah,
that group, and
it's
it's a
not
heavy thing to be like,
the only person I cared about out of all of them was her.
yeah,
And it's like I understand that now. Back then I was like, I love all of you and we're all like whatever because we
yeah,
were all like friends and together, but it was such a like moment for me where I was like, I love you,
yeah,
genuinely love you. And it's like and the thing is nothing happened. We didn't get into a fight. You
yeah,
just started dating some guy and you just were like fuck this, I'm not hanging out anymore. And then what pisses me off is like I have, because you pulled away, built my whole life around not having you in it. And then as soon as you broke up with him, you wanted to reel me back into your life. I didn't have time anymore.
yeah,
Like I can't reshape this just because
yeah.
you got
And
bored.
also, your dynamics totally changed. You were
You're
how long was
completely
how
different.
long was she dating that guy?
Like 3 4 years or something.
You were 4 years older. She was the person when
Exactly.
she was
And
dating
it's
him.
like we've grown into completely different people, and I'm this person, and you're still the person you were, but I'm not that person anymore. And it's sad that I'll never have you in my life anymore the way I did before. And it's like intense feeling for me because to this day I feel genuinely sad about it. And
Oh, it's a thing. Both of us never experienced this kind of loss, or it's a thing of like because you don't hate her,
yeah, and
and
so like, I'll never hate you.
yeah, a
It's
lot of everybody in my life that I've lost, I can.
there's an animosity to it. Like
There's a like, well,
there's a
fuck
reason.
you too.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a like whenever I talk about fucking Imran, I'm angry, I'm
Yeah.
pissed, but like what he did is so unspeakably
Hmm.
evil. Like
Yeah.
it's cartoonishly
Yeah.
evil. So it's just a thing of like I have every right to just hate you now.
Hmm.
I have every right to not have complicated feelings about losing a friend.
Yeah.
You and your girlfriend are making me out to be a predator, and that is
Evil.
you know that that's a thing that I'm insecure about.
Mm,
You know that everything about my sexuality is perpetuated to make me look like a
mm,
predator, and that's what you went for
you did that.
because your girlfriend is that's what your girlfriend went for
Hmm.
because she's insecure about herself,
Yeah. And then you went along
and
with
then
it.
you went along with it instead of being like, "Hey, I understand that you're my girlfriend are
Yeah.
upset with this.
Yeah.
I can tell him to cool it off. We can like work on it and shit like that." No, just fuck you,
No.
done,
Yeah.
nothing. And but like with Ahmad, it's a thing of he will always stop and talk to me when I see him,
Yeah.
and I can't make myself hate him.
Yeah.
I can't be like I don't love him anymore.
Yeah.
And even like with Wildana, you left it out. Like she did kind of do a bad thing with just being like,
Yeah, but even that is like, I know that's you. I would have done the same if I was 16.
yeah,
Like, I know my. It's another thing of like, I went down a rabbit hole and I was looking through like, I went to our old like group chats we had as like a friend group thing, and I was looking through pictures and there were a lot of screenshots, and I saw like when I first did my first job was like I was promoting like a beer thing. I don't know, I was
yeah.
in high school.
Study list.
Yeah, study leave. And I was doing that, and a guy, I think, like switched the schedule or something. I
Yeah,
was so annoying with it. I was like, and he fucked me over, and I was that, da 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 da. Like, I just got, and I was like, calm down. Like, it's not
yeah.
that deep. And I
Everything
was,
was a drama.
yeah, and I
Everything.
was rereading, and I
I
was like,
sometimes say
shut
like
up,
I
you
sometimes
stupid kid.
say like it's I miss being a teenager because everything mattered.
I know, everything was
Everything
such a big deal.
everything mattered. Everything was so important.
Yeah,
Everything was had to be dealt with now.
yeah. But it's a thing for me of like, I love this person, and I know for the fact that I will love this person for the rest of my life. And it's a thing of I don't think I want to be your friend ever again
Yeah.
because it will ruin what we had. And there's some sort of like beauty in that, I
Yeah.
guess, to be
You
like,
don't want to beat a dead horse.
yeah, you've had something, keep it what it was, and kind of remember it nicely. But it's also a thing for me of like, I know I'll never have that thing again.
Yeah.
But it's also the reason we had it's because we were both so intense back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm not that intense anymore, and that's
Yeah.
good, you know?
Are you?
Like,
Are you not that intense? Should I play Wicked?
exactly. But
And
it's like,
but I know what you mean. We were both the people who are. Chris Fleming has made a lot of videos about us as teens. We were both that one guy who wanted to do the silly photo, a silly pose in the
uh,
photo.
uh,
We were both the guy when they're going 3, 2, 1, and you just drop on the floor.
yes.
I was the guy in the back jumping. I was the it was that was us, and that's what we were.
Yeah.
We're not that now. I mean, we still have the fun characteristics about us. That still stays, but we moved on. Some people haven't,
Yeah. And it's sad.
and it's maybe they are moving on in their own way
Yeah,
now.
that's the thing. I think,
But people, I read this thing and it really meant a lot to me. Somebody was like, "What do you think about like how everybody experiences a person differently? Like,
yeah.
can it change so much that for somebody like I have this friend,
Yeah.
and there's this story about him that he was once driving home and he got into a fight with his girlfriend, and it was like a long stretch home, and he just told her to get out of the car.
Right.
And it's a heavy story.
Yeah.
It's a dark story, but I'm just I don't know what you were going through,
Yeah.
and I don't know what she was going through, and I don't know your situations.
Yeah.
I know you as a good friend, and it's not a thing of like, oh, they never hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing of I'm experiencing you differently than she did.
Yeah.
I'm experiencing you differently than women do,
Yeah.
and it's a thing of I, God knows. But somebody said like, huh, like, do you really believe people experience other people that differently?
Yeah.
And they were like, somebody just said like siblings don't get the same parents,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and that's like
I don't even have siblings, but ooh.
it's crazy because even like loving parents are loving in different ways
Yeah.
with siblings. It doesn't have to be like, oh, the father beats one, but he doesn't beat the other.
No,
Um, so I think the best you can hope for is that people will change. Because what I hope for Imran, because there's people that like
there's like
there's
people
people
for
where
me,
it's
like,
the darkest depths of the hell.
yeah, like Samra. No,
Like
but for me, she's always been
like Tubby,
okay, maybe not compared to because she's not as loud. Let's be real here.
like Imran's girlfriend.
Sure, fair, very fair. But she's a very like she's. I've known her since diapers, genuinely. Like
Yeah,
there are pictures of us in diapers together, and she's always been her own kind of world type person. And I've always like I think with her I have a sibling type relationship
yeah,
where it's like I don't like who you are, but I love you. Like I
yeah,
really dislike the person you become, but it's a very like we're not the same. We don't really have much in common, but I will like I feel like forever we genuinely I don't think we can we'll not talk for 20 years, but eventually we'll be like, sure, let's grab coffee, whatever. Like I'll sit down, you'll tell me, I'll tell you what's going on and it's gonna be whatever. But I didn't have that
Yeah.
like
No,
closeness that I had with Wildana, which is like
there's just some people that I had this one friend in primary school. She's my only friend. Weirdly, it was such a weird friendship
yeah.
that we had where she became a and she had other friends and she went out partying and shit like that. She was
Mhm.
like a kind of a popular girl who was kind of a normal person.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
just your
Yeah.
everyday
Yeah.
girl. And it's not like she looked down on me and became
Mhm.
my friends. We just talked
Yeah.
now and then and again. And one time we just started talking. I was like, hey, do you want to hang out?" And I remember just not knowing any social norms or anything.
Mhm.
But she was just like, "Oh, I would, but I'm in Germany." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay." Like she, and we talked and we did BuzzFeed quizzes together, and we like that was our thing. And I was really close to her, even though I'm this person who is very weird to her. Who is very. She was also, I think, queer
Yeah.
in some like she. It wasn't a thing of like, "Ew, you're gay." It was more of a thing of like why are you so different? Why are
Yeah.
you so weird? Why is
Yeah.
it a thing that you're so weird? But no, and then we had this friendship, but now I understand that you're in a league that I do not
No.
understand,
Yeah.
and I do. I love everything we've been through,
Mm.
but I find it really hard to talk to you.
Yeah. I can't
N-
relate to you anymore.
not because not because I hate you, not because it's just there's this distance between us where I don't know
Mm.
how to talk to you anymore. And it hurts me when I do it.
Mm.
And I would rather you hate me that I don't congratulate your birthday
Yeah.
anymore than
Suffer through
suffer
talking to
through
you.
like
Yeah.
hurting this more because I have this fond memories of this person and it's weird because I always like to help people and even that's what I love about myself and it's a big thing to love about yourself that you just think you have this good impact on other people because you like even with my autistic like I didn't get anything. I talked without any filter, and it
Mm.
was just she's still like, "You're one of the reasons I stopped cutting myself."
Mm.
And I was just like, "Sure."
Yeah.
She said that, and I was like, "Okay." Now
Slay.
today, I don't know why,
Yeah.
but it's it's this connection that I've lost, and I've had enough time to lose it.
Yeah.
But you didn't have enough time to lose it yet, and I'm still moving on from Mama, very much so. It's a very hard one, and he's one of those people. Like if I heard that he's talking shit about me,
Yeah.
I would beat him up.
I
I
know.
would be so heartbroken.
I know.
But he wouldn't. He never would, and
That's
that's the thing. To
yeah.
this day, I'm like, I know that you never would.
Yeah.
I know that I could call you crying. I know that I did text you being
Mhm.
very crazy,
Yeah.
and to this day, you're like, oh, that's John. That's one of the best people I knew.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because even with Valdana was very like we so we had the whole thing of like it was a like very shortly like she got together with this guy and it was like we'll see each other once a week, not like multiple times a week, and that was like monthly, and then genuinely it became like twice a year. Maybe
yeah,
we'll see each other, and then she broke it off with him, and I was like,
which by the way, is significant age difference.
yeah. He, I knew it from the beginning. I had a like a, and I'm not. Like even like maybe now more so than back then. It would have been like that's too much. Back then I was very like age doesn't matter, and we're like
No,
that's that.
there's a thing of because you're the teen.
Yeah.
You're the teen. I used to be like I got into like as a teenager, I got into very illegal groups of like, yeah, you should
Mm-hmm.
change the age of consent and everything. And
Yeah.
now I'm like, just fucking
So,
don't.
but broke it off with him, and then she wanted to get back this relation, like this friendship that we had, and it like I get completely what you mean by being like I can't be around you anymore because I don't know you anymore. And it hurts me because I'm like, you were the closest person to me. And if I have to ask you about your life,
About your day.
I don't like, there's no point anymore
Yeah.
because I knew every single thing. Like, and again, so she would, but even after everything, she would be like, she was talking to me about this friend that, like, she was talking to me about a conversation she had with her friend, and her friend was being like, "Oh, why didn't you tell me all of these things were happening?" And then she was like, "Ano nisam svoje Mirad." And it's like, even then, you considered me like
Yeah.
you're the closest person to you, and it's like I did too, and it's gone now,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
gone.
sad, and it pisses it like makes me like because also you had like parents telling you like when we were in high school and my dad would be like, oh, but it will all go away, you know, and I'd be like, no, it won't.
Yeah.
Like I know this person so much that it won't, but it did, and I was like, well, fuck me now. I don't know.
I'm
Just pause for a second. I really have to.
I have to be too.
Okay, should we do it together?
Yes, we will.
That's better.
We peed.
With pissed.
No, because it's one of those things that stays with you so long, and it's
Oh.
you have this thing of like keeping it in yourself because you know that talking about it won't really fix anything.
Yeah.
And I get that. I respect that. I think it's the better way because I'm fucking annoying. When I'm like my alphabet, everyone knows what I mean.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Shayla.
It's I'm usually the Glinda in most friendships.
Yeah.
I was alphabet with him.
Yeah.
I really was like
Yeah.
brought down from a
Yeah.
I don't know.
I.
It it's just weird to have to move on because I had to move on from her and she probably has like had to move on from me
Yeah.
because she kept being like happy
Yeah.
birthday
Let's.
and
Yeah.
shit like that and it's the thing of like I don't hate you and I never will.
Yeah.
I never ever will hate
Yeah.
you and I will always have love for you in my heart, not in a way of like
Yeah. It's a
no,
genuine like, hey, I will love you
I
forever.
want you to be as good as you can be,
Yeah.
but I'm not
Not
the
a part of your
person
life. Yeah.
who was your friend
Yeah.
anymore. And I don't know. I'm lucky to have had a big friend group of people who we all loved each other and we all grew together. And then there's people who of course dropped off.
Yeah.
There's one girl that I was really mean to at one point. Like it's
Hmm.
really a thing of like we threw her out of the group because of a thing. It was so unimportant and it was so like and I love that girl so much because she sees me and she just goes, "Hi."
Yeah.
There's I never had to
And
go.
also understanding like
We were
teenagers.
teenagers. I never now had to go and be like, "I'm sorry for what we did."
Yeah.
It's just a thing of like I can see that you're happy now, and that's important because I wasn't that close to that girl,
Hmm.
and we threw her out of the group, and it was just a thing of it's weird. But I'm still friends with Amra and Sada.
Yeah.
Which we could. Me and Sada have this weird thing where it's like we're kind of like the closest people ever, but like not. And Sada keeps a lot of things closed off, so it's hard to like come
Yeah.
to her. But there's this we're friends for so long, and we have these inside jokes, and it's like if you're it's always like if you're friends for more than 7 years, you're friends for a lifetime, and
Yeah.
then it's always like yeah, you'll never let me go. Oh,
Mm.
and then with Amra, it's a thing of like me and Amra kind of get annoyed with each other sometimes because I'm so posh and she so isn't. And then she goes
I
like,
remember this one time. Can I just tell you this because it's so funny to me to this day? We were playing Cluedo.
uh huh.
you kept you you kept doing the thing of like, no, you have to read the full card. And it was that. And I think the fifth time you did, I think Adi was reading it, and he was like, "Okay, so everyone does the thing. Like, no, 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 you have to do." It. And she looked at you like this. She went, and I remember locking eyes with her, being like, then she looks at me like, "Ooh," and I start maniacally laughing. I thought it was the funniest thing. But anyway, go on.
No, she's that person,
Yeah.
and we're both very like different people when it comes to that. And
Yeah.
she is a person who's not like you're my art person. She
Yeah.
does enjoy art. She does appreciate art very much
Hmm.
so, but she is not the one to talk about it in a way of being like, let's
But
sit
how did
down.
this make you
Yeah,
feel?
let's sit
Yeah.
down and talk about art. She will. It's a thing of like Wicked made her cry.
Yeah, but she's not
And
gonna
if
be
you
like,
talk about Wicked, she's like, why don't we just enjoy movies? Why don't we
why
just
can't we
sit?
just sit down and watch
Why
it?
don't we just sit down and enjoy movies?
Which
Like,
I respect very
sure,
much.
but the thing is, like, I want to talk about it, and then I don't know.
Yeah.
We were talking about AI, and
Uh,
she instantly goes into like how it can be used against women, which sure.
yeah.
And then I was like, I don't know. I saw this thing where it just said like AI is just AI proved that humanity has a soul because it showed us what art would look like without it,
Yeah.
and she was so like cool.
Anyway.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Through all of that, we never had to be like, "Hey, you really take the wind out of my sails when you do that." No, it's just a thing of you have your idiosyncrasies, I have my idiosyncrasies,
Yeah,
and
it's fun.
they don't sync up with each other,
Yeah.
but we sync up with each other, and
Yeah.
that's what's most important. I'm never gonna judge a movie that you're gonna show me.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be like,
You don't know what you're talking
I
about.
used to, I definitely used to. It was a thing of like she introduced me to like shitty
Yeah,
media,
yeah, yeah.
quote unquote, because I was so like very posh.
Cool.
Um, but no, I'm thankful to have her in my life, and I know that she's thankful to have me in her life. It's you know, and we're both brutally honest with each other, and that's what's most
And I
important.
think it's like your relationship is very beautiful because it's a very like it's long lasting and that
Yeah,
counts for a lot.
yeah.
Because it's not just
We've both been through each other's
yeah,
alcoholism.
yeah.
Also, I love when I get real with her and she goes like, "Oh,"
Mhm.
because she goes like, "But you know what we've been through isn't actually alcoholism. It's more alcoholism is more of the addiction." And I'm like, "Well, actually, alcoholism is this," and I started explaining to her and our journeys and shit like that. And she goes like, "Yeah, but like, why say that we were alcoholics and shit like that?" And I'm like, "Cause people stop offering you beer." And she went like,
Oof.
"Oh,
Wait a
oh
minute.
my God, you're so right."
Ugh.
Um,
No, people always have this idea about alcoholism that it's like you're only an alcoholic if it completely ruins your life, and your
no
wife
no no.
leaves you,
People
and
go
you
like,
lose your kids.
you're an alcoholic. You're an alcoholic. They equate it to alcohol addiction.
Yeah, to be like, I cannot wake up in the morning and
Any
not have a shot.
unhealthy relationship
Yeah,
with alcohol,
yeah.
no matter how much it ruins your life, if
Which for me, it was a very like, because you kept making the like, yeah, high functioning alcoholic, and I was like, I kept like being like, I'm not, like, kept doing the thing, and I was like, okay, let me just do this. Like, I had like a full month off to be like, okay, I'm not gonna drink it all, just to be like also even for myself to be like, do I like,
yeah,
do I
just to
need this
know.
thing? Because again, alcohol for never for me was like, oh, I'm gonna feel better when I drink
Yeah,
and like da da da. It was a genuine like when I would hang out with people, I would drink because it's a social lubricant. It's
yeah.
like that's as far as my alcoholism went. It's like I use it as a social thing to be more relaxed when I'm around other people.
I don't get why I was one. I don't get why it was never to snuff down the pain or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. It was it's not like the what you saw from me. It definitely was a
Eh,
snuff down the pain situation, and I realized that it can't. That it really can't. But now my thing is like, this is fun. I'm being fun.
yeah.
I'm
I
being
feel like
so much fun.
alcohol, like I don't get people who are like, oh, like I don't feel the pain anymore because it's for me at least
The
it
pain is
heightens it.
quadrupled.
Yeah, it heightens every emotion I've ever
Well,
had,
alcohol,
happy, sad,
yeah,
all of it.
alcohol is a depressant, and when like your body is trying to make more, I don't know. I remember a thing. My thing is, I always was like, this is, and when you do it, you just go, "Mah, I was drunk."
Yeah,
It's not a thing that I was drunk.
yeah.
I don't care that and that's the thing. I didn't do horrendous things, but
You would just embarrass your not you,
I
but
would,
like people. You just embarrass yourself
I
mostly.
would force people to listen to my sob story every single night, and
Mhm.
it's like some of those people may have not wanted to hear that. Some of those people may have had a worse week
Yeah,
because they had to think about what you were going through, and also you were over dramatizing it to a very
yeah,
high point, just so you could feel a twinge bit easier.
yeah.
But this person will now think about you for maybe the rest of their life.
Yeah.
I remember one time though. It was we go to Juar. We summer in Juar,
Oh.
and I like to sneak out because we go into like this remote village, and there's no like practically no light pollution,
Hmm.
so the stars are really pretty.
Yeah.
So I'd go out and look at the stars, and there was this group of people who drank by the church, teens,
Hmm.
and they had a Barbara. They had a 5 liter, and I was like, "Oh, can I join you? Can I get a drink? I'm with my parents. It's I can't really get stuff." And they were like, I remember this one guy going like, "Don't mix for him. He's a Bosnian." Like being like, just do wine.
Yeah,
And I was
just
like, "Thank you, brother."
you get us.
But no, there was a one specific point where it was Amra's birthday, and we arranged the whole thing for her because she really likes a weekend home that my friend's parents have. The more I talk, the more I know that sound posh, but hey. And we did a thing of like, because she was, I think her father was still alive back then, and it was a thing of there's not a lot of privacy and there's not a
Mm-hmm.
lot of, like even about around her mom and her, actually I think her parents didn't know at that point because Adi is
Hmm.
older,
Yeah.
but like in a normal way. You
Yeah.
know, that's the thing. There is age gap relationships where you just feel it.
Yeah, you
Like,
feel when it's creepy, you feel when it's okay, and
yeah.
it's yeah.
'Cause she pursued him. Hey, anyways, she pursued him.
She manipulated him, actually.
No, like to this day they're dating and they're
Yeah.
dating fine. It's a very healthy relationship.
Yeah, he's not changing her,
Yeah,
or something.
she changing him with
Mm.
anything. Um, and I was drinking and I went home, and the second I left the party, I was so depressed.
Yeah.
I was just, this is not good.
Yeah.
This is not good because I know that this stems from the alcohol,
Yeah.
and I know, and I'm gonna to this day talks to me a lot about memories about me because she's like something doesn't go correctly, and you're just.
Mm-hmm.
Amara was always like, we all had so much fun at wherever you organized,
Yeah.
but you would have this sense
Uh-huh.
that we didn't have enough fun, that we aren't laughing enough, and you would just shut off
Yeah.
and be like, this is not, I didn't do a good thing,
Yeah.
and I'm not being a good friend right now. And the funny thing, it's because she's watching Family Guy now, and she sees Peter do that, and she's
Yeah.
just like, that's so.
That's so
My favorite is she found a scene of him going like, and then we're going to go to the Levi's history museum, and we can make our own pair of jeans and everything. And then Quagmire goes like, "Is this seriously everything?" He's like, "Yeah, John Donovan." And I mean, I love every single part of my history. It turned me into the person I am today, and I don't want to be anybody else. There's a lot of there's a journey that has to be
Yeah.
done and went through, but and if anything makes me, it's my very blunt. It's my intense bluntness. It's my just without being like I'm a bitch, but like
Like I'm honest.
I'm honest when I say that you're fat,
Fat.
girl.
Right. Yeah.
No, I have my bluntness. That's like you will know that I value you as a friend
Yeah.
because you know that I don't lie to you.
Yeah.
You will like um I don't know. It was like for Amar, it was a thing of like his friends were like, "You gotta go to this party. You gotta go." And he texted me, so like, "I'm so sorry. I hope you don't feel any sort of like anger
Mhm.
towards me about not going to this party." And I was just like,
Okay.
"Want me to be with you tonight?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "But do you want to go to the party?" And I was like, "I more care about what you're feeling than like this party." And he was like, I've never had this before for somebody not to be angry at me
Yeah. To not be
going to
like,
an event.
come on, you're.
And I'm like, the reason those people are doing that is because they want you to feel better
Yeah.
and they want you to feel like you're more of a friend to them.
Uh huh.
But everyone's playing fucking games.
Yeah.
And then people meet me, Mr. No Game Player, except come over and play Mario Kart. And I get that I'm like instantly like, I'm very addicted.
Yeah.
And I like that about myself. And I got that through my alcoholism, through my journey, through my
Yeah.
bluntness that I had to learn how to,
Yeah.
balance and control.
I know.
fun teenagehood.
Yeah.
Aging is like weird.
It's weird.
Being a child is weird.
Uh-huh.
But children will listen. I think the reason we're so mellow today is because we watched Into the Woods.
Yeah,
Because it's a beautiful movie.
it
It's
is.
I mean it's a beautiful. We watched the show.
Play,
We
yeah,
watched the stage production from 1991,
yeah,
and I think it left us really like
yeah. Like,
thinking
hey,
about
let's,
ourselves.
yeah, because it's such a like. There's some media where I watch it and I'm like, instantly, I want to be nothing but earnest,
Yeah.
nothing but like, here's my heart on a plate, heart
Oh,
on the
you mean
sleeve. Here you
okay?
go.
I thought you meant my cousin Ernest.
Ernest, Ernest Hemingway himself.
Yeah.
I just want to be a writer real bad.
Yeah.
Um,
A bad one at that.
but yeah, it just sometimes I'll see something, I'll watch something, and I'll instantly go like, oh, I want to tell people how I feel,
Yeah.
genuinely how I feel, like not a.
No, because
Because
this
like I'll
is.
look at you and be like, I love you, and I do love you,
I do love you too.
but it's gonna be sometimes a moment of like just casually saying it and be like, I
Yeah.
love you,
Yeah.
like whatever.
No, but that's the equal. There's unspoken love is still love. There's
Yeah,
a. I remember one time we were doing like the 60 questions or whatever.
to fall in love.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it was like,
we did it twice and it didn't work once.
no, it didn't. No. Well, like the mic.
There's a lot of hair on there.
My thing is, we had this question where it was like, "You're dying tonight. You cannot tell anybody anything. What is it you regret saying?"
Not
Neither,
saying, yeah.
neither of us said like, "I regret not saying I love you,"
Mm-hmm.
because we both feel
Yeah.
that our compassion and our love is given, or we don't have anybody to give it to.
Um,
No, but the thing is, the only person that I feel I would miss saying it to is my mother, because
yeah.
there is a tumultuous thing with like with my father being in my life and the way it is for me. Like that, like, do you think that I'm being dishonest with you? Do you think that I'm,
Mm-hmm.
just like you? But that's the most complicated relationship you'll ever have.
Yeah.
The two most complicated relationships you'll ever have, and there
It's a
will.
son and a father, and a mother and a daughter. Those are the like.
No, I'm saying both. Like it's what a person. Their most complicated relationship will always be their parents.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. But generally, it's because like if you're a girl, your daddy's little girl. If you're a boy, your mommy's little boy.
Yeah,
And it gets to a point where like, and I don't know if it's evolutionary. I don't know if it's like animal like in
yeah,
us where it's like you kind of compete, no?
yeah.
And it gets to a point where
I
like
don't get
you're
that, but I was
either
just
like
like, yeah,
yeah.
sure,
No, but
go
it's you
ahead.
either like wanna take over the person or you're so afraid of becoming this person.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets
No,
like
there's
icky.
a John Mulaney explained it perfectly. He when he was in kindergarten,
Hmm.
the kids whose grandparents died, they treated them very nicely. They get to sit on the beanbag chair,
Yeah.
even though there's a dedicated schedule of the beanbag chair, and everyone gets to be nice to them, and everyone asks if they're okay because the teacher at the beginning was like, "His grandpa just died,"
Right.
and then he goes like, "And sometimes I wanted one of my grandparents to die, but to be fair, not one of the important ones."
Yeah.
I would pray in the middle of the night, but you don't want to do your mom's mom.
Yeah.
Because, and I forgot the explanation about the mom's mom, but then he's like, but also you definitely don't want to do your dad's dad. The second that happens, he goes on a journey.
Yeah.
But you could always
I would
pray
think
for
about
your dad's mom.
it.
And it's so like, what?
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like your dad's mom is easier actually than your mom's dad.
okay.
I don't know why. I
Because
just feel
everyone
like
has a hard relationship with their dad.
but
Because
your mom's
masculinity.
yeah. But I feel like your mom is generally moms are never that close with their dads.
Mm,
You know?
yeah.
Anyway,
Inclusive.
I don't know.
No, it's it's a weird
Yeah, it's a
conglomeration of
weird
everything.
thing.
And the thing with Into the Woods for me is I know that it was written by Sondheim,
Mm,
a gay man who never had children, who died at like a very like late age.
yeah.
And then I love gay portals because they were like, we know what information you need, and they were like, his 37-year-old lover said this, and I'm like, thank you for the age
Uh-huh.
so much.
Yeah.
But it's when you think about that, you realize that this is not a person who had children. This is somebody who was a child
Yeah.
telling the story.
Yeah.
And in case you don't know anything about Into the Woods, I mean, let's not turn this into the usual thing where we don't want to talk about the plot, but we just go, and then they did this and that.
Yeah.
It's fairy tales.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of fairy tales at once, and then like a baker and his wife wanting to have children, and they're going on this quest to. And by the end of Act One, all the fairy tales get their happily ever after.
Uh-huh. So it's very like it's Cinderella, it's Little Red Riding Hood, it's
Jack and the
Jack and the
Beanstalk.
Beanstalk and
Is there another one? Oh, Rapunzel.
Rapunzel.
And there's a witch, and there's a wolf, and there there's
Yeah,
a.
because
And at the end of Act One, it's and happy ever after to be continued.
yeah,
And then Act Two
it's what
is a
happens after
is a
they're happy
complete.
ever
And
after.
the Act One is not much of a deconstruction.
It's not. It's
Act
this.
One is straight to the point. Like
Yeah,
these
it's
are the
these are the
stories.
stories, but they all kind of connect with each other, which I love a lot.
Yeah,
And it's like,
it really connects without being like.
and then we're gonna do a thing. It's a
Yeah,
very
it's
like
never like
because they
I
made
am
up.
Jack and hello, Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, no,
She's
it's
like,
a
yeah, I'm passing you, and I don't care about you.
no, it's a very direct like because they made up a whole new fairy tale of a baker and his wife
Yeah,
who want to have a kid. So they're the ones connecting all these characters
yeah,
together.
and the witch.
And the witch. But the
Yeah,
witch is also like, oh, she's the witch, like Rapunzel's mom
yeah,
is the witch. Like she's still a part of the Rapunzel story
yeah,
as she is. But the baker and the wife are just separate
yeah.
completely.
And the stories are of their like more original grim.
Yeah.
They're very dark, and I talked to you yesterday about the Little Mermaid
Uh
and
huh.
how the original was so perfect. I love Hans Christian Andersen the most. He made that story the girl with the matchbook.
Uh huh.
That's
Even the modified version of that, even the child
there.
friendly,
There's
I'm
not a good version
distraught.
of that, but also like my thing is you explain it to somebody and they're like, why is it a story? It's like, yeah, a girl sells matches,
And then
sets herself on fire.
fire to be warm. It's just, it's fucked. It's
It's
fucked.
the worst.
But hey.
But he's my favorite. And the thing with Hans Christian Andersen is he was the writer.
Uh-huh.
Brothers Grimm were collecting the stories.
Yeah.
Every other fairy tale is a collection, but
Oh,
Hans Christian
yeah.
Andersen wrote himself. But I don't think there was anything Hans Christian Andersen in this. I don't think so.
Mm.
But they are like very grim from the original
Yeah.
fairy tales and everything. There's a narrator, and by the end of Act One, everyone's happy.
Mm-hmm.
And even even watching Act One is a master class
Yeah.
in storytelling. There's everything's connected. Everything. There's not a moment. There's not a sentence that's unimportant.
And there's also not a moment where like, oh, they're reaching with this one.
Yeah,
Like, because to combine all of these stories that are so like wildly different, and you come together to be like, oh, yeah, it makes sense that this person is gonna, because it doesn't feel like,
and you need to have you need to have Little Red Riding Hood learn about the dangers of strangers.
yeah.
You need to have um
And also
Cinderella
Cinderella,
learn nothing.
but also her whole storyline, like what I like about this is like her perspective of this is like I wanted to go to a ball and I
Yeah,
went to a ball and I had fun at the ball, but this prince kind of fell in love with me, I guess,
yeah.
and he wants me to, which and
By the
she
way,
genuinely like
without making it be so modern,
yeah. No,
without
no, no.
being this like, oh, you're making me
Eh,
feel. I guess.
yes. Yeah.
You know,
It's a
it's.
genuine like I had fun tonight and I sure this guy is great, but I don't know if I'm feeling it that much. Like a
But
genuine
nobody
like
should be running away from a prince.
yeah. So she was like, okay, I'm picking the lesser of two evils,
Yeah.
kinda, you know? And she just goes off and she marries him and she has like the kid, like a baby with him, but it's a very like, yeah, sure. Because even
She
like,
doesn't have a baby with him.
I should,
She doesn't.
wasn't she?
The baker and his wife had
Yeah,
a
but they
baby.
had the baby. I know that, but she didn't have a kid,
She
no?
didn't have a kid.
Okay.
The kid at the end is the baby.
I know, but I thought that, I don't know. But it's a moment of her to be like,
Rapunzel gets twins.
oh, yeah, okay. Rapunzel is so not good. Yeah.
Well, she is. I mean, first of all, here is yellow as corn.
Yeah, but like
Second of
to
all,
like she didn't have like a moment.
well, that's the thing. Rapunzel shouldn't.
There.
The witch came in the second act, and she was like, "You seem not okay," and she was like, "You locked me in a tower for so long, and now I'm mad."
Yeah.
The only thing I could do was sing.
Yeah.
She probably had the like her muscles had no density. That's the thing. Like there wasn't a way to spin Rapunzel's story into a good
Good.
one.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
else like Little Red Riding Hood is the one that had the most of a character, and it was
Mhm.
like and I learned this. Nice is different than good,
Good. Yeah.
and she
And there you
learns
go.
that, and Little Red Riding Hood has a story, has a lesson like Little Red Riding Hood with that act two.
Lessons there.
There's a lesson that was learned. Jack still as dumb as ever, but now
Yeah.
rich.
Yeah.
The and Act one ends, and Act two starts with I wish.
Mhm.
Just once again,
I
I wish for
wish.
more room. I wish to sponsor a ball. Cinderella, like, and they make a point of like these characters don't make decisions.
Yeah.
And at first you're like, haha, of it's a critique of these fairy
Yeah.
tales. That's what you see through Act One. They're critiquing these fairy tales. They're all being so without being edgy and mean
Uh,
about it. They're just like, look at these fairy tales and look at how when they're all connected together, they all kind of like usually don't give any lesson
yeah. It
at
doesn't
all.
really make any sense.
And then Act Two comes around, and you get fucked.
You get fucked in the earlobe. I don't know.
Act Two comes around, and it's one of the most beautiful stories ever told.
Yeah.
It's
No, you said it perfect. It's a fairy tale for grown-ups.
yeah,
It's a genuine like here's a lesson for you, adult
yeah,
person.
and they stand to say it
Yeah.
at the end. I want to talk about the end. At the end, with the most perfect, but the witch completely changes character
Yeah.
because now she doesn't have power, but she's beautiful and young
Mhm.
again. But instantly, she's just like, I get everything.
Yeah.
Like it's she still wants Rapunzel back, of course, but there's this disconnect from what she was to what she is now. She's no longer powerful. She's just one of the humans.
Yeah, but she has
But
the
she
like
has this knowledge.
yeah, she has this knowledge and she's never I feel like she's always had it too.
Yeah.
It was a thing for her to be like you all think you're doing
Yeah.
something and you're not.
And
And
that's my
it's
dream role.
yeah.
Let's just say, like it's that or Mrs. Lovett.
Mhm.
There's no males.
No. Is that a
No,
male
but
inside?
I think I could do a good witch.
Yeah.
But it does not mean
Oh, I said it. It's her and Little Red Riding
Little
Hood.
Riding Hood for
They're
you.
my
For me, it's
favorite.
her and Cinderella.
Mhm.
But I do love everyone in this
Yeah,
story.
yeah,
Everyone
definitely.
has even Jack's mom says, "Well, her withers with her with
With
her."
her, yeah. With
There's
her,
the only parts that I'm like, I like the princes are sure
yeah, they're like funny, but they're there to be like just
kind
dumb-witted.
of comedic relief.
Yeah, dumb-witted little
The
boys.
better to wake, the harder to have. And I mean, it's one of those. It's very much a musical.
Yeah,
At the end, everyone, most people died, but everyone comes in and takes hands and just sings
yeah,
their hearts out. And my main point of this musical, it's okay. So Act Two is kind of setting up its own story. So like you're getting something from the beginning, right?
yeah.
You don't instantly go like, okay, so Parenthood's about this. No,
Mm-hmm.
it's there's so much of like, oh, there's this giant that's evil, and there's this witch is also evil, but now she's helping us and whatever. And then the witch is just teaching them constantly.
Yeah,
The witch is the one who knows best, even though she kept her daughter in a tower.
yeah.
But it's still like a flaw of hers
And
that
she understood it too.
yeah.
Like to like
At some
at
point it
some
was like
point she like had a moment to be like, but I don't know. I don't know if she
it's
did. I
like
think it's
no, her she saw Rapunzel die,
yeah,
and she was like, I did this.
yeah.
Kind of. She never says it, but
You feel
it
it,
depends
and
on how you act her. You
yeah,
can do it as a I did this. This is because of me. Because of me, she was this sheltered.
But even in that, I will always like. Okay, that character of itself, just a Rapunzel story.
The
Aside
witch.
from even aside from the musical, it's such a like. Even just listening to Mother Knows Best.
I love this.
I need to. You know they're considering Catherine Hahn to play
You know who else are considering?
her.
J Lo.
Yeah, if that happens, I will sue
people,
and I
people,
will win.
people are rioting on
I
Twitter.
will sue and I
It's
will win.
yeah,
I know that.
it's yeah. There's like a lineup and like the most
Yeah,
prominent, but I think the most prominent is definitely Catherine Hahn.
yeah. Because come on, she looks exactly like, and it's like, sure, Catherine Hahn's vocals are a bit questionable if you're gonna do a musical, but
But
it's whatever. It's
it's not
Meryl Streep type. You know,
yeah, it's
you're
not
not a
too much of
singer, but
Mother knows
it's
best.
best. Which if that happens,
Yeah,
you will not get me away from it. But it's I will always like she's the that's the only villain that I'm like that one has complexity to it.
yeah,
Like that mother has complexity. Everything else is such a clear cut like you're a bad person
yeah.
period. Unless you do like a remake like
Maleficent,
Maleficent or
Wicked.
something. Yeah.
Has to
Where
be
it's like
mentioned.
mm-mm.
No,
Where it's like
I said I love Into the Woods more than I love Wicked as a stage.
yeah,
You know, but sadly, the Into the Woods movie was not
not
the Wicked
not yet.
adaptation that we deserve and need.
Uh-huh. But what I'm
Everyone, get
saying
your
is
character shoes are rumbling. Nice step ball change, Gabrielle. You too,
Gabrielle.
Gabrielle.
No, what I'm saying is you will never in any other fairy tale like setting the original story to be understanding of the villain. That does
Yeah,
not happen. Like it doesn't happen in the originals like
Snow
Snow White
White.
or Cinderella or
Yeah,
like a Little Red Riding Hood. Like there's never a moment where like, oh, I kind of get it
yeah.
from a villain's
There's
point of view.
yeah. I mean,
I
it
always
is
love
weird
that.
because she like it's the original is that they he was stealing from her garden and then she's like I want a daughter and I'm gonna lock her up in a
Yeah.
tower. Like she can't like when you think about it, it's just she can't have a daughter
Yeah.
and that's why she is locked up in a tower because she's like her only. It's a weird one where you don't have to Maleficent it to think about it.
Exactly. That you don't have to
Even with the
like
base story of like there's this woman and you can because as a kid you're like oh she's just this evil person who's
mm,
doing this. As an adult you're like
it's an well, I mean, it's a retelling of an overbearing mother understanding like, hey, I want to shield you from everything bad in the world because I understand what bad is because I've been through bad.
yeah.
Right? And it's that. And it's a very like, I get it, but it's you shouldn't do this. Like you're creating
Oh,
a
speaking of
awful.
edgy fairy tale narratives, me and my sister had this book growing up. It was the funniest thing ever.
Okay.
It was like just shitty version, like retellings of fairy tales, and it was this like Prince Charming going through. He was like, and it was all like sing songy, right? And he
Uh-huh.
was like, "This one is so fragile. You touch her, and boom, black eye." And I don't want to be catching stairs. And this one, such a goth, like all like thorns around her and everything, like and
Mhm.
it's so like and then the wolf being like, why does everybody hate me? I need to find that book. It's
Yeah.
really good. Um, but that's very like, look at me.
Yeah.
Ooh. Um,
Back to Into the Woods.
my the song that makes Into the Woods for me is No One Is Alone
Uh-huh.
because it's this huge part of like so the first act is taken to like set up the narrative of like these are all the fairy tales. The fairy tales are done. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
The second act has to fully start a story of its own,
Yeah.
being like now
Here's what happens.
you're out of this story.
Yeah.
You're out of these woods,
Here's the real
and
life of these people.
here's what moves on, what continues,
Yeah.
what goes on, and then you have a lot of time to just set up the things.
Yeah.
You have to set up that the baker's wife died. You have to set up that Jack's mom got killed. You have to set up that Little Red Riding Hood can't find her mom. You have to
That
set up
the prince is a cheating
that the prince is a cheating scumbag,
scumbag.
and that the wife was also cheating
Cheating.
before she died.
But it's also like for her, I'm like, I get it. I know, but I do. It's
No, but it's a storyline that you have to examine in these kinds of
yeah, you
shows
have
about
to really think about like where she was coming from, where he was coming from. It's a very different, but both very like interesting ways. Again, for me, like he had a moment when he was okay. So he cheated on the prince cheated on the princess Cinderella
Cinderella, yeah.
with the baker's wife.
Yeah.
And the birds told her, "Don't question it. It's what it happened." So birds
I
told her.
love they go a lot like his parents had died in a baking accident.
Sure.
And then later he goes like, "Dad, I thought you died in a baking accident," and everyone's like,
"You're stupid." Um, but and he comes to her. It's a weird thing to have like a profound. I don't know why I really find it like a very genuine thing
because it's a kind
to
of a
say.
throwaway. No, this show before had one of the most important lines just said.
What?
Say your I want.
Okay, you'll do yours. I'll do.
No, there's a line in the air.
Yeah.
There's a,
Okay.
like you say yours. People are on the edge of their seats.
Okay, so it's when after he cheated and he comes back and she's just kind of like in her old clothes and she looks kind of like a peasant wife and wife, right? I was gonna say a peasant, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, he walks by and he's like, "Oh, it's you," whatever. And she's like, "I know," being very like, "I know you." And she was like, "Why did you? If you love me so much, why did you stray?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have strayed."
Yeah.
And then he just essentially says of like a thing of,
I thought if I got you, I would get everything that I wanted,
yeah, if I
but
had
that
like,
was the reality.
yeah, being like, it's not real if I felt like I had to get something else from somewhere else,
Yeah.
from someone else. And it's a thing of being so like that is the most earnest response after you cheat.
My favorite thing is you paused, you had the same
I had to
conversation.
say because
And then, but no. My favorite thing is that, and now if he goes like, "But I still want you," now that then he can fuck himself. Where are you going? I love you. Fuck
get
yourself.
fucked. But to have this one line where I'm like, okay, I have never in my life, because it's usually my grandma died, something where men will go like, I'm a victim in
the
this
comedic
somehow.
relief was like,
They like these two, the most quote unquote dumb characters of the whole show. He's the one who had the most like, hey, if I had thought I had, if I did think I had everything with you, but if I did have everything with you, I wouldn't have gone and looked for it somewhere else. And I'm like, I get, and if that's the way you're like, okay, if you and I are together and I cheat on you and I come to you and I say that, and I'm saying that in a way of like, we're done,
yeah.
like we're breaking up because I understood this thing about myself that I need something more. Life.
And I would be like, "You lied to me.
But
You
it's
lied
like,
to me."
okay, it happened, and I'm saying
Yeah.
this to you. Like, it's a, you know what I mean? Like,
No,
it's
but
like,
it's these expectations that people are having that everything will be magically cleared up.
yeah,
But if it, there's if you have that gut feeling,
yeah.
if you have the
If you understand that, like, hey, this happened, there's a reason why I did this, why I did this horrible thing to this, because he did love her, he cared for her a lot, but it was a thing of like, I had, I still had this urge to stray. That comes from someplace,
yeah,
and that means I don't have everything I need from you.
yeah.
So that's our story, and I love it. I don't know.
I No, I love it too, and I love that it resonated with you because for me it was such like a throwaway line.
Mm.
My thing is, the second act, it had a firstly. That's what I love about the second act. It had a clear villain.
Mm-hmm.
It had a clear. The witch and the giant are bad people,
Yeah,
and all we must do is beat the giant.
yeah.
And at one point they're arguing, and
Who's
the whole time there's a clear narrative. This is bad. These are bad.
Yeah.
In the first act, the wolf was bad,
Mm-hmm.
and then the witch to Little Red goes like, well, "What can you say? You've already killed a wolf." And she's like, "A wolf is different." And then the witch just goes like, "Ask a wolf's mother."
Yeah,
And it's such like it's the first time you think of the other
yeah,
perspective because the whole second act you're going, "Oh, these people are bad. These people
yeah,
like this is the bad side. This is the bad side." And then she just goes, and that's what I love. Theater isn't subtle in the most subtlest way
yeah.
possible.
Exactly.
It's like you have to. the show ends with being like, here's the lesson.
Uh-huh.
Listen, everybody. But
Yeah.
then those moments of, let's just ask a little small, and then
Ask a wolf number.
continuing because there's a runtime that we have
Yeah,
to get through.
exactly.
And it always gives me chills. And then finally, it's all like, the baker tells Jack that his mom's dead, and Little Red Riding Hood says that she can't find her mom, and then
Or her grandma.
or her grandma or nobody, and then Cinderella and the baker sings no one is alone. And I've told you I have ended a friendship over this. I have ended a friendship over the dumbest things. One time a guy posted that his favorite game is Metroid Become Human.
You blocked him.
I genuinely, like, because it's so like we should, I think we should play that game together because it's so like, okay, it's a narrative about robots.
Okay.
Dude, can you imagine what they tried to do with the robots? It's a
Make
race
them
allegory. It's a race allegory.
allegory.
It's a
Okay.
race allegory.
Okay.
The robots have to be in the back of the bus.
Oh, get fucked. Get fucked right then and there. Get fucked. Kill yourself. Kill
so
yourself.
Because you can make fucking Wally, and you decide to do like,
Even if you do decide to do a race allegory with robots, don't have them sit at the back of the bus. Like, that is awful. It's just bad.
my favorite is because David Cage cannot write things, and people are like, it's so deep, and I'm like, no, you're just stuck in the mind of a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
My favorite, the girlfriend of his was reacting to it, and she was like, and and they sang a slave hymn, not an actual one, but like a robot song in a game. And they're like, and let me be free, and they keep singing it, and they go, let me be, and then it's like a serious scene, like, and Shelby goes like, free. No, but it's such a game that tells nothing. It's like, it's the most, and that's the thing with games. You go like, this beautiful thing that took so much manpower and everything, and then it's just,
Shit.
yeah, it's, should I kill the child even though it's not human, or save adult even though it's human? But human make us sit in back of bus. It's the
Yeah.
worst. Any disease. Um, so I've, like I said about No One Is Alone, I told a person that I was friends with, like, I love this song, and he was like, I disagree with that. I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, we're born alone. We're born alone, and we die alone.
No, you're
I
not.
don't care if your mother hates you.
The only way, okay, first off, you're not born alone, period.
Yeah.
The only way you will die alone is if you are in your bed
No,
and your wife is dead and nobody's
no.
come to
There's
you. Like,
that also isn't a way that you will die alone. You know what's the only way you will die alone? If you have never made a connection in your life.
yeah,
There isn't a person on this world that hasn't. There's stillborn babies who had a connection.
yeah, because you had it. You had a human. If you've had a human experience, you've had a connection with somebody.
Yeah.
That's what creates it. That's what life is.
And I don't care how
Period.
bad your life is, because it can be bad experiences.
Yeah, it can be the worst life ever,
It
but
can be.
you
You
will
can
have
be
a
extremely lonely,
yeah,
but nobody is ever alone.
yeah.
And usually, some people will like.
And if you
Some of those,
discard that, if you're just sitting there being like, you're living a miserable life.
and you're forcing that upon yourself.
Yeah, you're doing it to yourself because you don't find the beauty in understanding that, hey, I have people in my life. I have a
I have a
connection.
friend,
Yeah,
and I was like, well, let's see how alone you'll be now,
yeah,
and just stop being friends with him.
yeah,
Because I'm like, I can't be with somebody who will empower such negativity
yeah.
within me. And I have like friends right now. I mean, barely, like, acquaintances. But I told you, like, we were watching Lilo and Stitch, and I was like, there's this scene where she's dancing and she's so happy, like, and that's the thing, she's so weird and she's so different from, yeah, she's a, and he was just so like, maybe just they were all concerned that she was late, like being like, why are you so hyper analyzing this? And I was like, I was happy about something.
Yeah, let me be. Come.
I was happy about something. Why do you have this urge to
Yeah.
put other people down and make
And
me
it's
feel
not
like an idiot?
But that's the thing. That's not even it. They think they're cool.
Yeah.
That's the worst part of it. It's like you don't actually feel this way.
Yeah.
You're running around because if you actually did, let's really be real about this. If you actually did feel the way you're portraying yourself, you wouldn't
Seek out
scream it
friendships.
to the
Yeah.
world. You would feel ashamed for it.
Yeah.
If you actually felt completely alone, you would feel shame for being completely alone
Yeah.
because you would consume yourself with thoughts of like, am I just bad? Am I just the worst person in the world? Am I just like this person that nobody wants in their life? If you actually felt that way, no, you want to portray this because you saw it in a movie that you
Yeah.
liked of being this person, and you're like, oh, like yeah, people suck, and we're like, you
Yeah.
die alone, and you
Yeah.
live.
And it's like, no, I actually mean like you can just only rely on yourself. And I'm like, what a sad world we
What
live in.
sad? You're a sad person,
It's
and you're creating it. Like that's the
yeah.
word. Like I will never like knock a person who actually feels that way because that comes from a completely different place, and you won't run around like you. If you're a person who actually feels that way, you will try your best to
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
because it's a sad and lonely and
And when you
awful
try,
feeling to have.
somebody will be on your side.
Yeah, you will find people. Like you
The
just have to
the best thing
want
you
to.
can do is try. The
Yeah.
best thing you can do is just keep going. And that's what the song says.
Yeah.
It's you decide your own destiny.
Yeah.
Even if you believe in tarot cards or the
Yeah.
horoscope or whatever, at the end of the day, you decide. Even when I read tarot cards, I'm like, this is your future if you decide to not change it.
Yeah.
This is your future if you do what you do now. You just go ahead. And in that song, they also go like, witches can be right, giants can be good.
Yeah.
You decide what's right, and you decide
So
what's
it's
good.
good.
And in that moment, they became a family. When they sang that song
Yeah.
together, they became more close, and they became this family. And it's of course a gay man wrote that. It's about
Yeah.
found family for
Yeah.
God's sake. It's
Can I just say that video you posted on your story that was like queerness saved my life in a way?
oh yeah, I love
I
that
like
video.
I opened it and I was like, I watched through it. Like I have 2 videos saved on Instagram. That's it. And it's that one and it's Brittany Broski. And it's her speech of being like, I like I find myself scrolling through TikTok 4 hours a day
Yeah.
instead I could be making
Oh
art, I could be
yeah.
talking to people, I could be talking to my grandmother, I can be like all that, and I was so
No,
like,
because that video of like queerness saved my life made me feel like uh Barbie becoming human.
yeah,
It's
genuinely.
it
It's
felt
and every clip from
I
it
knew
too.
every person in that video. I was
Exactly.
connected to every person in that
That
video.
was my thing too, where it was like, yes, the speech is very empowering. It's like
Like
queerness saved my life.
you've never been in a relationship with a woman, but you
I feel every single thing about this, and I talked about it, talked to Mel about it too, because we're talking like we were doing like I think we were doing questions, but we got into this conversation about like how much like it's a community of
yeah.
things, and it's not just me being like, oh my god, women, I think women are sexy. It's
Yeah.
a thing of like, and I mentioned like Golden Girl, like genuinely, I was like, there's nothing gay about that. There isn't a singular like sure there are like sidekick, but what I'm saying is like that's such a like a part of it for whatever reason it is a part of gay
Yeah.
culture and it's there.
I mean,
And I know
you
it
can
and you
just
know
look. You can just look at your hand right now.
it.
A friend of Dorothy's. It's
There are
Muppets.
yeah.
Who are you? A friend of Dorothy. We're friends of Dorothy.
Random things that don't like that aren't. It's not a transgender person. It's not a gay person. It's just
the second
thing.
that you know that
It connects people.
when you're with a queer person, when you both figure out you're queer, you feel safer.
Yeah.
And you both understand that there was a sense of unsafety before that.
Yeah. Or
And
at
that's
least not understanding.
yeah.
Because for me, genuinely, I like it's never been a safety thing for me,
Yeah.
and I like I know that it's
But
a big thing for a lot of people. Yeah,
that it is for other people.
and I completely do. But it's a thing for me. I know it's never been a safety thing for me, and I will never take that and be like, yeah, I was
Y'all are
scared.
pussies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have a scar that's not visible on me anymore, but
Yeah, and I've never had that experience. I will never take that experience away from somebody to make it my own because
Yeah.
I've never had it. But I did have the understanding and acceptance of certain things that I love that have never been appreciated the
Yeah.
way that I appreciate them. And I know the person from this community will.
Yeah.
And I will have that connection always.
I have not like I have never met a trans person. I have met two trans people that I don't like, but I I think I've had some online friends who are trans, and yeah, I love them. Like high ends. But that's the thing. I will if I see a trans person on TV on in media. I am not in the trans community, but we are queer,
Yeah, and we
and
get it.
you are my sister or
Yeah,
my brother
yeah,
or my what would be or my sibling
yeah.
or my you are
You're
instantly mine because I understand
feel you.
something that your parents don't.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
And it's a whole new feeling. It's a whole new way of thinking that you don't get to experience with other people. You don't get to feel these things when you're around people who aren't in it. And
yeah,
that's you find different ways to connect with these people, but it's
yeah,
like this is specific to this group,
yeah,
and it's
because
a beautiful thing.
it's a thing of like it is a thing when you're a minority.
Hmm.
Because I can easily be like, oh my god, you love Zelda, I love Zelda too. But then I had a friend who liked Batman, and I was like, oh, we like the same media.
Yeah,
And then he said the sentence of like, I don't like woke culture.
yeah,
And I was like, oh, we're obviously not experiencing the same media in the same
yeah,
way.
yeah,
We're obviously experiencing media in such a
yeah.
vastly different way. And I don't know. I think of Maya. I think of Maya. She's not a queer girl. She's not even my closest family friend.
Yeah.
I've I've been with Denny much longer. Me and Maya have this understanding about each other's lives because of the way our dads are friends
Yeah.
that nobody else has. And when we talk to each other, we genuinely cried. It was so touching to open up to her, to fully be in that moment with her. And that's what you get with the queer experience too.
Yeah.
There's a moment of like, I love nothing more than sitting down and being like, when did you figure out?
Hmm.
When did you? And it's
Yeah.
whenever I see the movie, I'm like, just get the fuck away from
Yeah.
here. But the second I sit with a queer person, I'm like, who was it?
Yeah.
Who was it? And I was like, Harrison Ford for me, and it's always a nice conversation, and that's why I hate hookup culture, and that's why I hate Grinder because it's like, when did you find out I'm not gay?
Yeah.
Why have
Why are
this
you here? Yeah.
conversation? Yeah, and then, but that's the thing. You sometimes find people like this one guy who's so insecure and so like, and every word just hurt.
Yeah.
That it didn't hurt him, but it
Yeah.
hurt me. Every word hurt of like I knew since I was a kid. I always knew I was different. I
Yeah.
always knew there
Yeah.
was something wrong with me
Mhm.
without saying those words.
Yeah.
And you just stand there hurting, even though you didn't go through that.
You heard for them.
I never was like, oh, I was just like, I
So
love Gaga.
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 I love Gaga, and I mean, honestly only her. I told you recently that I had this friend at school, and his sister just got me,
Hmm.
and I don't like never in a condescending way.
Yeah.
Just all the kids would leave, and I would stay because I'm his best friend, and
Yeah.
and she'd go like, "Let's have a dance party," because that's what she thought I would like.
Yeah. And she was right.
Oh, was she right?
Boy.
And then it was so funny because Emmett and Isco would stay, and both of them would be so hype me up. They're like,
Yeah, bro.
and this is what we'll do when we love to perform.
Yeah.
So and I was just dancing to Gaga, and it
Oh.
was so like they will not like understand that queer experience, but like some queer person will be like that. I can understand that changing
Yeah.
your life, and that we queer just love found family because we
Hmm.
all have so many found families, and I mean, not to quote RuPaul,
Which, yeah.
but no, it's he goes like we as gay people we get to choose our family,
Yeah.
and it's I hope that my mom one day understands how important it is that she's still my mom.
Yeah.
That she isn't a stranger to me. That she's
Yeah.
not somebody else. That she's not that I had the choice to give her. I had the choice for her motherhood to mean something to me,
Yeah.
and I chose that willingly. And because with other people, I have so many chosen brothers and sisters, even outside of the whole queer thing. I have Anis, I had Amar, but I didn't had him. I still have him. He's still my brother. I still know him more than some of his friends know him now. I still like if I'm with him, I will know some of the things that he does that he knows now. I know when I saw him that a person was dangerous to him and I wanted to intervene, but I couldn't. I there's these people that are my family and they're maybe like distant cousins now, but I chose them as family. And I just wish that one day my mom could understand like you are my mother first because you gave birth to me and all of that normal standardized
Yeah.
bullshit, but also like I have also chosen you as my mother.
Yeah.
I because I could have just thrown you away. I threw my dad away. I don't I there's no way of fixing it, and I've decided that, and I'm stuck on that, and I know that that's something that she wouldn't like and appreciate.
Yeah.
But I'm like, he threw me away, and you
Yeah.
didn't, and because of that,
You stuck around, and that's why I stuck around.
yeah, just just the fact that gay people can choose
Yeah.
a family, because there's the thing of like black people also have their issues, but at the end of the day, they'll always have family.
Yeah.
There's not that found family trouble with
Yeah.
black people. It's a
You get it.
uniquely
It's an
queer
inborn
experience.
thing. Like if you're a black person, you probably have black parents. You know,
Yeah,
you get the culture, but with this, you have to find it with
yeah.
other people because it's
You
not.
have to seek it out.
Yeah.
I remember that same guy that I talked to you about that was like, I'm so like, I always know I was different and shit like that.
Mhm.
I showed him that one drag queen that he says like every bisexual girl follows me.
Mhm.
You know who I'm talking about? It's like he dances and then like a
Yeah,
glove. He has a
I
glove.
love. Hello.
I
Wait,
yeah.
go on.
I showed him that, and I remember him being like, "Oh, cool,"
Yeah. Like,
and I'm like, "You just never experienced this," and it's just sad, and it's a lot to talk about. And at the end of the show, the giant is beaten, even though the giant did nothing wrong.
yeah, the giant was. She was right.
But that the whole musical also made it a point to be like, yeah, but we're protecting ourselves here
Yeah, we're protecting ourselves, but it's such a like. Okay, the giant didn't do anything wrong because she was
because
like,
the giant was
"Give me the boy who stole from me,
who stole from me and who killed my
who
husband.
killed my husband. Like this person killed my husband, and like he was greedy, and he kept coming back for more, and he kept like he couldn't stop it. And then the boy too, being like, "But I did it for my mom. I did it to get my friend Cow back. Like I
Yeah,
did these things. Like
no,
there's a backstory to every evil. You know, there's a
yeah,
the reason why people turn into what they turn into.
and that's why it was everybody's fault.
Yeah,
I exchanged those beans for a cow. Oh, and
yeah,
this is you're your fault. You're her. And then she just the witch is like, if the fault is really the issue,
fine.
I
Blame it
can
on
take
me.
it.
Yeah,
I can take it, but let's be clear here.
yeah.
Let's be objective. And the story at the end isn't objective.
Mm.
The story is it goes on emotions, not
Mhm.
on
Yeah,
knowledge.
yeah.
Because you could be like, I love my professor said like the first time I liked you is when you said that you hated Beowulf, and I was like, why? And she was like, because everyone tries to sound smart and be like, and I asked you why, and you were just like, everyone had a good reason.
Yeah.
All of the villains had good reasons to like the the dragon just stood around with his riches.
Uh-huh.
The first troll was banished
Uh-huh.
because he was ugly. And let's not talk about his mom coming back to avenge her son. it's the story against my people. And she was like, that was so powerful to me that you're just
Yeah.
we're like, I don't care that this is a piece of history. I will dispute it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what Into the Woods does too. Like I don't like these stories will keep being told. Be careful of the tale you tell.
Yeah.
That
Children, 'cause
is the
children
spell.
will listen.
And it's
Ah.
such an important and what I love about it is I feel like parents are so like, oh, who cares?
Yeah.
And then us.
Like, oh my god. No, but it's not just like, oh, your child will
Yeah.
listen to. It's a build a world where the next generation is going to hear you and be a better person
Yeah.
for it. Be the change you want to see in the world, honey. But it's that, and it's a very like a clear cut like a it's a mess. Well, everybody besides the wolf, but even that
Yeah.
is kind of like, what about the wolf's mother?
Yeah. What about
It's
the
like
wolf's mother?
every villain in the show is avenged in a way
Yeah.
of being like, I understand it, and you're a good person who make every single person in the world is a good person who makes bad decisions.
The road to hell is paved with good
Intentions,
intentions.
exactly.
Madonna.
Madonna.
um,
Remember one time I was like, which was it? It was a Shakespeare quote, but Madonna used it in a song.
mm,
And I was like, oh, Madonna said that. And you were like, no, Shakespeare did. So from now on, every single thing that's in any of it could be Vogue, and I'd be like, somebody else say that before? Like, I don't know.
um,
Anyway.
maybe it's tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow keeps in this, or it's to sleep perchance to
No,
dream.
no, it's something from something curtain, something show, something
Oh, all the world's a stage, and
stage.
we're yeah.
Yeah, all the world's a
Oh,
stage,
that's
and
like
everyone has their way.
that's you should feel fully for that because
I
that's like
know
the Shakespeare
the
quote.
Shakespeare. I don't know.
That
I
it's
was
it's
like,
it's to
it's
be or
like,
not to be, and then all the
yeah,
world's a
it's a
stage, and
stage.
we're all actors.
But I was like, because I think it's, I don't know. It's in one of her songs. I was like, ooh, okay. She said it.
We were
She said
very
it.
like sex education where somebody goes like, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger," and like the gay guy goes like, "Kelly Clarkson, poet," and then the
Exactly.
other two goes like, "Nietzsche." um,
Which, by the way, Bulls.
but
No, it's not. Anyway.
no, it's the whole last part is so impactful of just, and it's they he is treating the audience like idiots, but I will gladly listen
Yeah.
to what that man has to say.
Not fully, you know?
Yeah,
Like, you will get, like, here's the point of this story,
yeah.
but you will also have, like, very slight little moments of being like, it's not
No,
about,
genuinely, to this day, I will remember it. I
yeah,
will think of it
yeah,
because it's sometimes hard to think of a full movie,
yeah,
but it's important to have a. It's good to have good quotes,
yeah.
but if it's not under substantial,
Like, there's a story behind
yeah.
it, around it, yeah.
If if I just showed you the last Children Will Listen, you would have been
Yeah.
like,
Sure.
cute, like this is it
Yeah.
resonates with me. But watching this witch who was antagonized, who had this whole song about why could you not obey? Why
Yeah.
did you not listen? And her, who who died herself,
Yeah.
whose daughter died, who lost, and everyone in that story lost everything, saying, "Careful before you say,
Say and
listen
listen
to
to
me."
me. Yeah.
And she says that, and there's so like such a feeling in your heart, and it's fairy tales, so her going careful of the tale you
Yeah.
tell. That is your spell. That is, I don't know. I'm very much interested in stuff about childhood, stuff
Yeah.
about growing up and becoming the person that you are. That's why I love Moonlight. That's why I love. I just Into the Woods spoke so much to me because it took something for children and gave it for adults without being a parody.
Yeah. But not
With
being annoying with
yeah, without being like yeah,
it.
selfie, bro.
Yeah.
No, because Steven I've sat down and he was like, "Can we talk about the political in the world right now?" And that's what to this day it is my favorite musical. And if I can't catch it, I will catch it in theater always. And I watched the movie when it first came out, and I was like, "This is like it." I liked how dark it was because they really made it look dark and edgy, and everything was blue, and Johnny Depp and Meryl Streep were, and then I was once scrolling and I saw Into the Woods, and I was like, "Huh?" And I clicked on the video, and it was this recording on YouTube, and it took a few turns because I showed it to you once before, and like you had a reaction to it, but not to this level. It takes a rewatch to
Yeah.
for the message to sink in, and
It's a
to
very like you see it the first time and it's a like a
oh, it's
ooh
all they
whoa
have this fun
okay.
way of tying the stories together.
Yeah.
And oh, the second act's good. Like it's the
Yeah.
continuation of the story. That's
But
very
then
interesting.
you notice the details more when you rewatch it.
Yeah,
I love a good thing that it's better on a rewatch. I
yeah.
think that's my favorite.
But just that last song is utter perfection. Just being like whatever you thought about this story is it's not about these fairy tale people. It's not
Yeah.
about revenge.
It's
It's not
about
about anything.
you.
It's about you and your relationship with kids.
Yeah, it's about to me it's genuinely like it's about you and how you decide to live your life, and that will impact the world greatly because you and a collection of millions of you alike will create the next generation. What will that look like? They will listen. Be genuinely like turn yourself into a good person so the next generation will listen and see you and become that. And it's a nice and it's also it's very moving and it's a very even the moment of like I'm here consoling other children
Yeah.
that aren't mine. I'm
There's
here for
there's
you.
a scene of when the baker's wife died
Yeah.
and Jack comes back and he hands like the baker the scarf
Mm,
and the witch goes, "She's dead. I found him next to her body. He was crying like she was his own mother."
yeah. Like genuinely being like, hey, I am older, you're younger. It doesn't matter that I'm not your
Yeah.
father or your mother. Like I am telling you this story of like you're not alone.
Yeah.
You're not like I'm here for you and I will teach you kind
Yeah.
of. Like I will tell you what life is about and make it into a good thing. I want you to be a good person and I will be a good person for you.
And it
It
was
doesn't
made
need
by
to
this
be
gay guy who never had children,
yeah,
who
and
made the decision to not
genuine
have children.
yeah, and to be like I was a good person. I was a good influence, I guess.
Yeah.
I lived my life in a way that will mean something to whoever. Like, and that's important. And like, again, it's such an interesting thing to me to be like, your sole existence will affect somebody else, even if you don't know it sometimes.
Yeah.
And it will happen and it will like shape a person
Yeah.
randomly.
Yeah.
So do as
Do you think
good
my
as you can.
friend's sister ever thinks about me?
Yeah. It's
Who used to like play me Lady Gaga?
exactly.
Do you think she ever goes like,
Yeah, like, oh, I did something for that kid. She
yeah,
probably doesn't remember it, but you do, and you always will. And
yeah,
it's one of those things where it's like, you did a good thing, and it's gonna be
because she listened,
yeah,
so she saw the kind of person I was, because she was interested in what kind of person I was, and it
huh,
was never degrading. It was never.
condescending. And like,
It was.
yeah,
It's God. I really like.
yeah,
It's above Chicago. It's above everything. It's
yeah,
Into the Woods is. If I could watch it on stage, that would be my favorite. Even though it's not. This is enough.
yeah,
Like I seen, and it's a very good cast recording. I would just want to be there and be like, and I'm watching these
yeah. I'm
actors, and
part of
I'm
it.
watching this person be their own version of the witch,
Yeah,
and it's also silly and
yeah,
funny, and because it's fairy tales.
yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm like, so when are we gonna continue The Wolf Among Us? It's like this thriller noir mystery story about the
Honestly, we're gonna do like a swear jar whenever you
thriller noir.
start.
No, but this is actually,
Yeah.
it's like the game that we started because it's literally what I've always been like. But it doesn't do like edgy and dark.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there, it's literally like I'm the big bad wolf and I'm the detective and I smoke cigarettes. Ooh, Ariel's a prostitute.
Which
That was the weirdest way to prostitute.
to
Mother of the week.
you do first.
Thank you.
Okay. I want to do something, but it's gonna be a bit cringe.
You want to do me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did us once, and it
Uh,
was, I did, yeah. One time I was like us because we started this podcast and we
okay, but that's
did.
like a,
It was cute and whatever, but we talked a lot about us this
yeah,
episode, and it is oh, I like it.
yeah.
It's,
Like it too,
it's nice to be,
yeah. And I love you.
and I love you too.
You are like, cause you've come into my life, and it's such a like I don't know. I instantly felt like a brother type relationship to
Yeah,
you, and
me too in a way that I didn't care about you.
well, not instantly, but it turned into it, I guess. But it's a thing of like I love having a person that I can talk to like this with,
Yeah,
and in a way of like genuinely understand. Because usually when I talk to people like this,
it's a lot
it's
of
either
like
accompanied with I don't know,
ah
man, or it's like
ah
and that's all I get.
yeah.
It's never like a reciprocating thing. It's just like a wow, you just think about things, huh? It's like
I don't.
like
My I was this is what I started talking about like a long time ago. It was when we were with your friends and I
mhm,
was just being normal normal me.
yeah,
And then your friend will because people were behaving very immaturely and very like idiotically and well done I was like, let's stop, let's ask questions.
uh
Let me
huh,
ask John this, being like, what did you learn? Like what did you thinking that it would improve
uh huh,
the people that were in the room or whatever. And I didn't go for what well done I wanted to say. I genuinely said what is because what's the best thing that I can say in a
yeah.
sentence? Because I can't be like, oh, what's the most important thing that I've learned in my life? Once upon a time, I wish,
I mean,
or since the beginning of time, there were only baby dolls. Or
it's true. Look at that.
well, I don't think that taught me anything. That taught me about myself.
No.
But I don't think that's for other people.
Yeah, yeah,
That's for
that's for inner peace or
I
not
no,
peace at
no, I
all.
feel like there's like Wicked is very like the best experience of like that's a
Yeah,
thing. It's not like Barbie and Into the Woods
yeah,
where I'm
yeah.
like I learned so
Uh
much and
huh.
I thought so much. And I went like what perfectly describes me like if you have one leg in the past and another in the future, you're pissing on today.
Uh huh.
And so like three of our friends were like, that's like deep.
That's like wow.
And I just that's where I checked out. I think I went to sleep right after
Yeah.
that. Like I was so
Uh huh.
y'all don't get me. Like be like, oh, like sure, oh
Oh,
yeah,
sure,
sure,
fun.
oh fun. But like don't like oh it's actually and I'm like whenever you say something about me and you go like that's actually
Mm-hmm.
so
Shut up. Yeah.
Amal talked about how he said to and his mom and his Kenan
Uh huh.
said the same thing. They were like, and I talked to John a lot about this, and they were like, "Oh, but isn't John so like unserious?"
Uh huh.
And he was so like, "No, but that's the thing that
Yeah.
like, you get a lot from John. You just think of this
Yeah. Character
very
that you.
yeah,
Yeah.
you think of this character." And I'm like, "Yeah, because I never had the chance to
Yeah.
be
Talk.
serious with them,
Yeah.
and I don't want that chance
Yeah.
because I wouldn't be like if you won't listen to me, just like I'll just be like these words mean nothing to you,
Yeah.
and I can
Why
say
waste
whatever
my
I
breath?
want. Yeah,
Literally.
I was to my sister friends. I was that same thing, where and I was like, oh my god, you're so right. And I'm like, well, why are you still with him? Like,
Hmm.
why are you asking if
Yeah.
there's not a thing? And you never ask when you don't want an answer.
Yeah.
And when you do get an answer, you're like, you'll either be like, I'm not ready,
Hmm.
or I'm not following that,
Yeah.
or there is a clear and
Yeah.
present. Go ahead, but we both just yap,
We yap. I love the
yap,
yap.
yap.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
No, but I will go into I will go in with you because we really got close recently. It was a thing of like I don't know the last few weeks we were just a bit like
Emails.
huh.
Emails.
I wouldn't say that. I thought I we were a bit kind of distant of like let's just go through it. Let's just let's just
Okay.
hang out and shit like
Well,
that. It
yeah.
was but then it was I don't know. We're randomly there's a
It's in
dynamic
waves. It
shift.
comes in waves.
It's a dynamic shift. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. No, but I would never expect that you became more important than anybody else. I mean, kind of like there's people who are on the same importance level and shit. But if I thought that I would hang out with you all the time, you're the only person that I've had people that I hang out a lot with,
Yeah.
and then when I have to hang out with them, I go like, ugh, them again.
Yeah.
But then I see them and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
like there's a reason that
Yeah.
I'm
That we're
hanging out with them again. But with you, it's genuinely like if I want a break from you, I just won't wait for you to get home.
yeah. Just stay home.
Yeah,
And it, like, yeah. Because it's genuinely like I never feel like because like you'll stay here and I'll see the bike is in front. I'll never be like, oh, he's here. I don't
yeah,
want it because it's such a like you're like this lamp. It's genuinely a thing of like I like you can be here always and I'll be
yeah,
fine with it.
yeah.
And if you like
I mean, I
you'll
pay rent, so
like it's a genuine like I don't mind having you here and you
yeah.
can be here for a full or you could
And
be not be here for a full week and
and
I'd
I
be like, I
never
still know we're
and I
good.
never go like I need to feel needed, which I don't. I need some time away.
Yeah.
Um, oh, good. It's I want to talk more about our friendship. No, you are making this big change, and I can see that happening. It's weird because you're making this big change about you with other people. Meanwhile, I'm being so like self love. I constantly want to talk about like myself and my journey and everything. But it's you're there to support me, and that's good. Right. No, I'm getting more comfortable with myself, like aside from my body. I think, I look good, but there's days when I just don't feel like I look good.
Yeah.
And but I have come to a point where I genuinely think about myself as a person and I'm not like I
Yeah,
don't
it wouldn't hate me if I met me.
yeah. I don't think I'm a burden now. I don't think well, by the way the word burden was my favorite thing on planet Earth. Oh my god, the way you would get sympathy points with
Uh-huh.
burden. It was so cute. It. Everyone reacts to it.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, it just hurts.
it genuinely. If I wanted sympathy points, I was like,
I'm
and
not
I'm a
getting it.
burden. But I did feel like a burden a lot at the
I know.
time because of my mental health issues and everything. But like when when it was I had a lot of cheap. I'm a burden.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like a burden anymore. Even when it gets to the emotional, like even when it gets men, even when it gets mental health bad, I'll say it how I wanted to say it,
Fuck you.
but there's still a lot to look forward to with me, and I'm lovable, and I like that about myself. Imagine I was like, and I'm lovable, and I just hate that about myself. No, I get to pick and choose who my family is, and that's kind of what I wanted to do into the woods because this whole thing made me think a lot about me. And then you were doing this change too, and I was just like, sure, I'm with you all the way. But it is weird because you're very like basing it on me, and then I'm like, Anyways, more about me. Like, let me add more about myself. Oh, and a lot of it's once again. I want to mention my mom. Just fucking love that bitch.
Love that bit. I love your mom too.
She's the best. She's genuinely. My thing about her is
She seems like a genuine. Like, I love my kid
yeah.
so much.
My problem with her is that she doesn't compare me to other kids.
So you can't throw back.
No, it's because
I'm better.
yes.
Like, look at this dumbass doing drugs. I don't do that.
I would have told
Brownie
you if I
points.
smoked. Yeah, like that's the thing. I'm like, she thinks I have this bad relationship with her, and she tends to be very like, you're using me, shit like that. Like, but it's not that often. And then I'm like, most kids don't have what we have,
Oh,
and most kids think the way I talk about you is beautiful.
oh.
But she's like, oh, talk is cheap. And in a few years, I'm gonna be like, when I won the Oscar, she said, what it was.
Maybe you found a cure for cancer or something.
I never thanked her, you know. You did thank her. I did not.
Oh,
Thank you. I love Kathy Bates. I want to watch her show. It's Matlock. She's just an old detective. Love her. Love her. She's so like, "Oh, can you help me with this phone thing? Oh, my grandson Richard usually helps. Oh, I know Richard. He's a good friend of mine. You know, what about Tommy? The best. Um, no, I don't. My mother agrees with my mom. I mean, I think I did her before, but might as well do it again. I would not be this great person I am today without that woman because she's so compassionate and loving and caring. And she's like sometimes she says things and I'm like I will never have that mindset, but good on you.
yeah, slay.
She's so like whatever happens, even in a bitchy way, she'll be nice.
Yeah,
She's so like, oh, just be nice to them. They'll hate it.
yeah.
Person where it's just like nice to hate it. Um, but everything I learned, every time I want to be a better person, I think about like what she would do and what I can like what ways she made me happy. And it's a weird thing that like I will have to have a lot of serious conversations with her about like I know like this is the person I am today,
Yeah.
and this is and I will not do these things. I will not treat you differently in any way when
Yeah.
something like that happens. I will not ask you how you are. That's not who I am as a
Yeah.
person. I want you to know that I deeply care without doing those things. I want you to know that you can tell me how you feel.
Yeah.
But I want you also to know that this household created an atmosphere where I do not have the ability to sit down and talk to you. That's something that
Which
I
is also
always
thing I
dread.
don't blame you for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she I was like I felt very unsafe growing up. And she was like, that was the biggest slap in the face for me.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, I thought we gave you a safe, and I was like, how?
Yeah.
How did you did your best. But there's a person in here that you don't wanna
That's the worst part of it too, where it's like you have a mother who cares and loves you and cares about you, and it's someone who wants to protect you, but it's a thing of it wasn't in her control,
yeah,
and it's like this, like imagine how she feels
yeah,
to be like I can't, I couldn't have
yeah.
done anything
Yeah,
better.
and then she goes like, I should have done a better job.
Mhm.
I should do it. It's always on her.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to fight with my dad about some things because then I'm like, the only victim there would be her.
Yeah.
I'm I'm the victim, but I was the victim. I'm
Mm-hmm.
no longer the victim because I don't care about him.
Yeah.
She has to this day care about him.
Mm-hmm.
That's the choice she made. I get that, but it's I don't know. I don't understand it, but hey, maybe one day I can fix this relationship with my dad.
Hey, it's a
But
thing of maybe he's a good husband, bad father.
yeah,
Like, that's just
I just
how
know
it
that
goes.
I just know that it can't start from me
Yeah.
because I'm the kid.
Yeah.
I'm I can't.
No, it's not your job at all. That's the most important thing that I've like detrained myself from.
Yeah.
To be like, it's not your job to fix this.
Yeah.
You have to just let it go and like let it be. Like if
Well,
ever there
yeah.
comes a day where they want to be like, hey, this and that, I you can be there and you can accept it. But it's not your job to push it
Yeah.
anymore. And I won't do it.
Yeah, no, because he is every bad thing he says about me is a thing that he does.
Yeah.
He doesn't listen. He doesn't pay attention. He's just this selfish man
Yeah.
who just thinks he's better than everybody. Meanwhile, I just am better than everybody. No, but I don't have to stand here and take it from somebody who talks to me the same way they talk throughout all my life. I, I don't need to take it from somebody who expected me to behave like an adult and never let me behave like a child when you behave like a child
Yeah.
my whole life.
And I was the child and you were the adult.
Yeah. And I don't need to take it from somebody who does so many fucking dramatics and where everything is.
Yeah.
And I don't need somebody to tell me you were evil since you were 11.
Mm-hmm.
You're
What does that even mean?
you
With what?
you were evil since you were 11. It's like if you truly believe that,
You're not
who raised
focused.
me?
Yeah.
Who raised me?
Whose fault was that?
Yeah, Bixby didn't raise me. Um, no, and it's there's another thing I want to say. Yeah, everything kind of everything he says about me, every wrong thing he says about me is just like when he goes like, "Yeah, it's my mistake." About because one time I was like, "Yeah, and it's you," and he was like, "Yeah, and I fault myself every day," and I was like, "You don't fault yourself for being a bad parent. You fault yourself for the way I turned out
Yeah.
because you think I'm a failure.
Yeah.
You never go like, I have
I
created
did a
this
bad thing.
relationship between
Yeah.
us. You go like, I created this person,
Yeah.
and I don't like that,
Yeah.
and I don't have to take it from somebody who thinks about me that way.
Also, from somebody who's a shitty person.
Yeah, just in
Who
general.
are you to judge?
Yeah,
Genuinely.
genuinely, you love the last Star Wars movie. Kidding, like it too. To be honest, it's like really bad. It's like really bad, but there was this one scene in the first Star Wars, like the fourth, first.
Uh,
Chewbacca doesn't get a medal,
yeah.
and that it's like an infamous thing, right?
Okay.
That they gave a medal to everybody and not Chewbacca, but it's not set in the story. And people were kind of like, "Why don't I give Chewbacca a medal?" And they made it like they made a comic to explain it how like his tribe doesn't take kindly to like material explanations of like braverism and shit like that. But then in the last movie, Han died, and Leia goes like, "I know that it's overdue," and she gives him the medal, and I cried. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know that it's a
I
bad
had
movie, but I cried.
I could.
I could. But hey, this is a
Okay, this
long
is
one.
a 5 hour one.
Oh no, it's
Okay,
2:30. We have a
All
we
right.
have a 3 hour one, so that's
Yeah, it's good.
it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Gotta
I'm gonna have
piss real bad.
and then we go walking. Boy.